Orange Lounge Radio. With your hosts, Dark Sakura, Sky, and Loki.
April Fool's is always a hoot now that we are Google Map Pokemon Masters and own our own flux capacitors. But the top joke this week was Amazon taking over our TVs. Music, movies, and TV shows aren't new, but they said it would play games too. Tell us your favorite joke on the show where every gamer has a voice. Wait, what? That wasn't on April 1st? I guess I'm the fool.
Orange Lounge Radio.
Yes, Jason, that actually happened. That is an actual thing we'll get into later. Hi, everybody. Hi, Internet. Welcome back to another week of the show where every gamer has a voice. It is Orange Lounge Radio live on this April the 6th of 2014 with episode number 547 of our show. Here with you guys at vognetwork.com. That's vognetwork.com, where we do tape live every Sunday night at 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern, right after the Bobby Blackwolf show, to talk about video games, gaming culture, and the gamer lifestyle. I'm here with you. I'm Rob Roberts. And joining me, as always, say hello to the one and only Dark Sakura, or Jamie Summers.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Less frustrated. Very
Yes.
happy.
I just noticed. I'm like, yay, Dark Sakura was able to get in the chat room after all.
Yeah.
So,
Just still got a little bit of a headache from my movie adventures today.
yes, what'd you go see today?
I went to see Captain America, Winter Soldier.
It was just like, it seems like everybody in the nation went and saw you.
Well,
I'm assuming
it was just really freaking loud, and the 3D hurt my eyes, and then it was just sort of too much of everything at once. So I figured that next time I go to a movie, I'm just going to start bringing earplugs and sunglasses.
But was it good?
Oh, yeah, it was really good. But make sure that you stay not just for the after the special part of the credits, but after the all of the credits. Because trust me, it's a Marvel movie. Stay for everything.
Exactly. Absolutely right. There it is. All right. Well, also joining us, as he does every week, here in studio, say hello to Techmaster Loki. Hello. Hey, Loki. And you're not doing so well, from what I understand, right?
Just congested.
Yeah, starting to get a little sick.
I'm tired just because I stayed up last night.
I hear you. You're stay-at-home dad right now, right?
Yeah.
Just for a few weeks with the whole they let you have leave when you have a new kid and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
How's that going? Oh, are we not hearing Loki? Sorry, guys. Oops, Loki was muted. Sorry about that, Loki. Try again. That's the joys of live radio, everybody. Try again, Loki. How are you doing?
Congested.
Yeah, congested, and you're home with the baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, the baby. Let's see. So, he just doesn't want to take a bottle. So I have to try to feed him, and that usually takes about, I don't know, maybe an hour to get him to take an ounce. So it's like, come on, take the damn bottle.
You need to get one of those like fake boobies the dads get to be able to feed.
There's no amount of finagling that's going to get that baby to take anything. It's just like I've had to do like syringes just to get him to take something. I don't know. It's because he's breastfed and we were doing both. We were, feeding him a bottle at night and that kind of stuff. And then we kind of backed off on that. And so he's just confused.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fine. My son Josh wakes up at like 5:45 every day, even though he doesn't have to wake up for school until like 6:45. But I get up every day at 5:45 now. But there is a nice like 3-hour break in between when he gets up and when the baby gets up, because the baby usually gets up at 8:30. So I work on my computer and stuff, either doing programming in Unity or just like playing games or something, until my son comes up and says, "What are you doing? I want to watch that. Do this." I was watching a game video the other day, and he was telling me how to play the game. He's like, go up. I'm like, it's a video. I can't do anything. So that's what it's been. And then I usually take him to Nelly for lunch, and then he sleeps when I get back for an hour and 2 hours. I don't know.
So is Josh at that age yet where he's actually, because you say he's standing up behind you while you're watching game videos. Is he at that age where he's actually able to play games? Or
No.
No, he's not quite there yet?
He doesn't know how to do anything. The best he can do is I got him to play Forza Horizon a while back a little bit, just because, I have the whole racing setup where he could, steer and the pedals and everything. But he doesn't have the dexterity to do it on his own, and it's kind of hard to teach him because he's left-handed. So like, I don't know, I don't know how he would build it, but he's interested in like pictures and stuff. I had him watch a Mega Man video today. Like I put that on while I went and did something.
You need to get him to start like the rest of us started on Atari 2600. I don't really remember playing games. Probably about 4 years old is the earliest I remember. 4 or 5 for sure. 5 was when we got the Commodore 64, so I remember that. But
he likes Bubble Bubble on the arcade cabinet. He just doesn't understand how to move the joystick and push the buttons at the same time.
That was the thing about Atari 2600 games. They were easy. There's just one thing to them. Combat, pinball.
You probably like combat.
Boxing. It was very, very one note, easy to do. So, all right. Well, if you are listening to us live, hello and welcome. You can join our chat room over at live.vognetwork.com. Again, that's live.vognetwork.com. I know we're up against some big TV stuffs going on tonight. So if you are here live, I appreciate you being here. If you are listening to us on the podcast, you know what? That's okay, too. If you decided to watch your wrestling and you're listening to us on Monday morning, well, that's okay, too. We appreciate your support either way. And, this is a show where every gamer has a voice. So if you can't be here live with us, be sure you send us an email, which you can do at participate@orangeloungeradio.com, or you can send us a tweet at OLR. And, we like to get your voices all on the show as well. Going to our chat room, I see some folks talking about the old school games. Dungeon Buster says Yar's Revenge. That was a little more complicated of a 2600 game. They start after they got all the simple stuff done, then it started getting a little weirder. Like if you look at Yar's Revenge and you have no idea what to do, it is kind of like difficult to figure out what the hell that game is. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen Yar's Revenge, but Google it. Make sure you're looking at the Atari 2600 version, not that weirdo remake they did a few years ago, which was nothing like the original. But you have like that storm cloud that comes down the middle of the screen, which is actually like a safe zone, I believe. And then you have a wall around the gun, and you try to shoot through the wall, and then you have to touch the gun. And once you touch the gun, which is randomly shooting, so you got to be careful, you get a bullet on the left side of the screen, you hit the fire button one more time, and you blow up the gun. See, that one's complicated. Some of them get really complicated because, they did all the simple stuff. But Yar's Revenge was one of the greatest Atari 2600 games they ever did. And then trying to explain a game like E.T., well, don't bother.
Don't play it.
Although I seem to remember a couple years ago, somebody had hacked the E.T. ROM to make it playable. Like they changed collision detection and some other stuff to like make E.T. playable, which is kind of funny. Love that idea. Speaking of hacks and joking and fooling around, for the kickoff topic tonight, I wanted to talk a little bit about April Fool's Day, because April Fool's Day was this past week. Some years we've done things here at OLR or VOG Network where our show is heard. This year we sat out just because our show was nowhere close to April Fool's Day this year. And we were actually working on a new feature for the site at vognetwork.com, like a real thing that actually launched on April 2nd, because we want people to believe it's real. It is real. It's our new TV section presented by the fantastic folks over at Critical Myth, which you can hear on VOG Network Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern. They have a brand new TV review section over at VOG Network, and you can access that tv.vognetwork.com. And what's really cool about it, it's got all the same gamification elements that the rest of the site has, meaning you can leave your response reviews right underneath the reviews of the shows that are there. You can comment and thumbs up, thumbs down, all that stuff, so you can really participate with those reviews. And it's TV, so it's a lot of people watch these shows, and trust me, the guys over at Critical Myth, they have a pretty big staff, and so they review something like 40 shows. Now, they used to run their own website, criticalmyth.com, but due to some, and I have no better way to word this than due to some fuckery, which is completely out of their hands and not their fault. But due to some fuckery, they don't have Crystal Myth, or did I say crystalmeth.com? Criticalmyth.com. Criticalmeth.com.
Or, Critical Myth. I mean, crystalmeth.com.
Yeah.
It's even more popular.
Well, I think somebody hacked their domain to sell it for meth. I think that's what happened. But anyway, criticalmyth.com is not there in the same way. I think he kind of has it to do some podcast hosting, but they unfortunately lost a bunch of reviews. But they're starting anew over at VOG Network, and they review a lot of shows. This isn't like Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and one other show. No, there's you go over there, there's a ton of shows they're reviewing right now. So probably one of your geeky favorites is up over there. So check that out. Once again, tv.vognetwork.com. Plug. So where was I? April Fools. Lots of April Fool's jokes always happen around the game industry. We've had some real classic stuff in the past. But what did you guys think of this year's offerings? We had a few things this year. What did you think of this year's April Fool's offerings, Loki? Is there any that?
I mean, there was a few that kind of stood out, but a lot of them were just kind of eh. I mean, I like the new Smash Brothers character reveal, which was Nestor. But see, that's the thing, though. It's like it kind of falls into two categories. There's, April Fool's jokes that are kind of like, okay, haha, that's funny. And then there's those April Fool's jokes where it's like, oh, man, that's really cool. Why is this just an April Fool's joke? Why can't we have this actually be a real thing, And so in that category, there was, the Nestor reveal, and then also the Transformer or Optimus Prime DLC for Titanfall, where you'd have Optimus Prime, which I got to admit, though, he did kind of look a little derpy in that, but whatever. I guess this was the Generation 1, but it looked like derpy Generation 1. So that was kind of neat.
Wait, let me cut in because I don't want you to name everything. I want to give Jamie a chance. I don't know if she was really following all the April Fool's stuff, but was there any gags that caught your eye this year, Jamie, that you thought were funny, or anything you thought was lame?
After being reminded by Bobby, I did like the NPR stunt. That was really smart.
Oh, yeah.
Do people actually pay attention?
That wasn't gaming per se, but a great commentary on social media and the social game we play every day on Facebook.
That's a great commentary on my Facebook.
On everybody's Facebook.
Seriously.
Crap.
That's actually a great commentary on my mother in every conversation I ever have with her.
And just to recap, I know a lot of people probably listen to Bobby's show, but just for those that are listening to our show first for whatever reason on Monday, they posted an article that said something like, what was it? Americans don't read as much as they used to or something like that, right? And it was on NPR or whatever. But you click in the article and it says, this is our April Fool's joke. Hey, you should like the post, but don't comment on it. And sure enough, it's
to prove that you
read it.
Yeah.
And all these people commenting on the post saying, what kind of travesty is this? What are you talking about, NPR? NPR, you guys are full of crap, and all this typical stuff. People who just made an impression based off the headline didn't bother to read the story. Yeah. Hilarious!
Well, and it sort of goes back to something I've been pointing to before through a couple of different shows, just how society itself has become can't be bothered to do anything.
And this would never be true in the gaming industry, right, Dark Sakura? The gaming fans never judge things based on headlines alone, do we?
You know what? It's almost it's a human thing.
We don't have
the path of least resistance.
We would never have like a clickbaiting website that would just try to get attention-grabbing headlines for people to share on Facebook. That right? We would never have anything like that, right?
Website.
April Fools.
Yeah, and who's the fool this time? Who is the fool?
Go into our chat room over at live.vognetwork.com. Dungeon Buster agrees the Optimus DLC was very funny. The Pagan Jew with one... I can't believe Dark Soccer forgot about this. I think Dark Soccer just wanted this to be real. The Pagan Jew says the BioWare store stuff, the Garrus body pillow.
That was a big joke anyway. There were reviews up of it. Besides that, I don't want a Garrus body pillow unless it's like a full-size plushie, maybe. I could deal with that, but Dan would be completely freaked out.
Raginator keeping it old school and saying the best April Fool's gag ever was the EGM Shang Long joke. That is always interesting. I mean, back when, you didn't really have the internet the way you have it now, and, gaming magazines were very prolific. And, in the April issue, there'd always be some type of joke. And it was always really funny to me when that stuff would cross over into actual canon. The one that pops into my head is when they said Ermac was in Mortal Kombat, right? The red ninja Ermac was available, that you did all this crazy stuff and you could unlock it. Well, sure enough, what did the developers of Mortal Kombat do? They put a character called Ermac in one of the later games.
It's like we always knew it would happen. Now they would just started trolling people by putting random text in the BIOS or whatever.
Yeah. But any jokes that you guys have ever come across on April Fool's Day in the gaming world or maybe in the tech world that just weren't funny? Because sometimes, what's the old adage? I can only think of the RuPaul version, which, bear with me here, but the RuPaul version is throwing shade takes creativity. Being a bitch takes none. And what I mean by that is that some April Fool's jokes are funny because they're thought out and they're well executed and so forth. But there's so much sloppy shit that happens on April Fool's Day that's just mean-spirited and dumb So what do you guys think has happened in the game industry? And I posed this to our chat room as well. That was like on that side of that was just bitchy. That was just dumb.
There was the Firefly one.
Oh, Netflix is reviving Firefly.
I was like, fuck all of you.
That was kind of being a bitch.
If it wasn't that you were doing the Jessica Jones and Luke Cage series, I would just say fuck you forever for the rest of the year until you redeemed yourselves, if that was at all possible.
Hitstun says that Nestor one this year was lame. Disagrees with Loki.
There was the Enter the Dominatrix April Fool's joke.
Oh, what would tell us more about that?
That's
Remind me
for
about that.
Saints Row.
Yeah.
They were teasing it as an April Fool's joke originally, and then
that became a thing.
Then it was going to become an expansion, and then it became
Saints Row 4.
And God, having played the DLC, it would have been fucking terrible, even more terrible than Saints Row 4 was. But oh well.
Dark Sakura?
I do have to say that the only getting into April Fools that I did was playing Animal Crossing and having to tell who was the right one. And I'm very sad that I did not guess the correct Margie because it made her sad and she better not move.
I forgot that April Fools was a thing in Animal Crossing.
It Blanca shows up.
Oh, yeah?
And she impersonates another townsperson.
Uh-huh.
And so sometimes they'll give a clue by their birth date or what they want to do, but it's stupid.
It's one of those, like, how much have you been paying attention?
And Margie's my favorite, and I got her wrong.
For a second there, I thought you had a really epic Capcom crossover there. I was like, oh, Blanca shows up? That's awesome.
No, she's the one that had the face that you drew her face in before.
Blanca shows up and starts electrocuting your villagers.
No.
I support this.
He spotted Ed and then launched himself in one of those Blanca balls at Ed's face and murdered him from Jamie's village.
Yeah, I did. Let's see. I got Groucho right. I like Groucho, so I have his picture. And I got Diva, which I just like her because her name is Diva, but she's a fucking frog. So her eyes are sitting on top of her head, and it's fucking weird.
You know, I thought the meanest April Fool's joke where somebody was being a total bitch that was played was when Notch wrote that blog post about how he wasn't going to make Minecraft for the Oculus Rift because Facebook bought them. And then yet he turned around and now they're going to do, Pocket Minecraft on the Amazon Fire. I thought that was a really bitchy April Fool's joke. But
that's because the Amazon Fire, they already have controller support for Minecraft Pocket. You're just putting it on another damn console.
Oh, wait. You're saying that wasn't an April Fool's joke?
That wasn't an April Fool's joke. It's not technically in 3D.
What a bitch.
and it's kind of stupid to call it Minecraft Pocket on a fucking TV. I can't fit that TV in my pocket.
All right.
How big do you think my pocket is?
All right.
I can't afford big fucking pockets with your fancy money.
Because I'm going to reach into your pocket and take out $7.99.
It's for the people with the deep pockets.
Yes, it's for people with deep pockets. All right.
You got to have a pouch of holding for that shit.
All right, all bitchiness aside, we'll get to the Amazon Fire stuff. I know it's on everybody's mind. We'll get to that in the news in a little bit. But let's establish our frame of reference for the week in a segment we call How Was Your Gaming Week? So, Dark Sakura, what type of games have you been playing this week?
Animal Crossing. I played some Final Fantasy 14. I did some Mass Effect, but I really need to start over on my game again. And for some reason, my mods aren't working again, so whatever the fuck. I was playing something else. Oh, yeah. I think I mentioned it last week, I might have, that I started the Shiva, which it's actually... It's done in those old Sprite, point-and-click adventure games, but it's very Jewish. I mean, the Shiva is what a Shiva is if you don't know, it's like a week-long period of mourning when someone dies, where the family in mourning sits on the floor. Everyone brings them food. You don't have to do much to take care of yourself. You're supposed to get your grief out of your system, and after you've buried the dead. And so in this case, it's a rabbi who has a dwindling congregation about to lose his synagogue, and then somebody that he had actually kicked out of his congregation left him a whole bunch of money. But the guy was murdered. So it's this whole murder mystery around trying to get to the bottom of it. Why would this guy who he kicked out leave him money? Who's behind it? And it's pretty It's really actually more of an insight into, I think, into modern Jewish culture. I've really been enjoying it. And on top of that, it's an old school point and click adventure game. Yeah, it's called the Shiva. The Pagan Jew asked that's a real game. I need to look this up. Yeah, it's really good, and it's actually not super expensive. But I've been really getting into the story behind it.
Nice.
And I played a little bit more Dominique Pamplemousse, but the problem I have with it is that I have problems with hearing anything off pitch, and not all of the singing is on pitch. And
it's a very intentional sort of sing-songy that's
I had this
off.
problem in band. You know
Yeah.
what perfect pitch is, right?
Yeah,
when
of
you
course.
can hear pitch. And
I saw Pitch Perfect. I loved Fat Amy. She was my favorite.
Well, I have perfect pitch for listening, and so I can hear when anything is off. It just starts sounding like, instead of like, a constant sound, I hear whoa, 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 whoa. You hear all the sound waves between it. And so for me, it's just like instant cringe. I can't even listen to myself sing when I'm off pitch. So that's why I don't do karaoke.
You're going to need to turn the volume down, turn subtitles on.
Probably what I'm going to end up doing. Except the songs are cute. The music is cute.
Yeah.
So I've been enjoying what I'm playing of it. I mean, and that's not anything having to do with the game. That's having to do with me.
Yeah.
So I take it in bursts. I'm having a good time.
It is such a little art film, isn't it?
It is. I love it. It's so cute. I just sort of want my own Dominique doll.
We know people you can call to maybe arrange that.
I might make one. But yeah, and thank you, Dungeon Buster, for doing a link to the Shiva in there, because I would really like to see more games like this. I would love to see more people explore this game and learn more about, the culture behind it.
Well, and in a way, you just brought up Dominique Pamplemousse, too, which is a very similar sort of thing, being able to explore the mind of somebody you might not otherwise have thought about relating to before. So,
and I love the main character. I really do like Dominique. But that being said, I have to take it in doses.
Sure.
And I'm actually kind of considered getting Titanfall. Except
What?
I would throw up so quickly.
This doesn't sound like you at all. I mean, don't get me wrong, Titanfall is pretty cool, but what's your attraction to Titanfall?
I want to see the story behind it, because it was funny because we were all right. Where we were watching at Captain America today, when we were watching the little commercials they do in front of it, they had a really good one for Titanfall, and I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And then you see the pilots bouncing from wall to wall. I was like, oh my god, it's like Attack on Titanfall. And I was like, I'm kind of interested now, because I said it's got a story yet it's multiplayer, and I was like, well, there'll be people on the same learning curve as me, I'm sure.
The story is very short because the game is only multiplayer, and so there's like multiplayer match, something story related, multiplayer match, and then that's it. And then later on, something else story related, whatever.
Then maybe,
and I have to play the other side.
Maybe I'll just stick with drunken robot pornography then.
You can watch the story on YouTube.
Seriously, I think it's short enough to where you could do that.
Well, I don't know. I've actually, when I gave up playing through Half-Life 2, I just watched the rest of the story online. So,
Well, how do you think sites like Twitch TV are a thing? People like to watch people play through stories.
But I do want to have a Mass Effect multiplayer night where we stream again.
I wonder if my game is up to date. I don't even know.
Because then I need to drink a lot.
That'd be fun.
And play. Because drunken Mass Effect multiplayer on Bronze is the funniest thing ever. And for the record, Rageonator, I did get Goat Simulator. Or as you said, Goat Stimulator. And it's fucked up.
Also, another comment in our chat room, you may not be alone in some of your music things, Dark Soccer. Kaijudo says, when I hear death metal, I lose my balance and I get dizzy right away.
I have the problem actually with certain ones. Like, okay, I'm fine with speed metal. But anything that's the super bass heavy and screechy.
Oh, like Through the Fire and the Flames?
Yeah, I'm fine with speed metal because it actually is sort of melodic. It has a pattern. And I mean, if anyone wants to, okay, the stuff that I listen to calm me down when I'm about, at meltdown phase is I listen to Philip Glass. And believe it or not, I've actually found a little bit of correlation with some of the patterns that come up in Philip Glass's music and certain types of speed metal, just the melodic and repetitive, how it builds and builds and builds on something. So it's actually very calming to me. But death metal, no, I get sick. I actually get nauseous if I've listened to too much. So, yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on. Back to I don't know how we got into talking about death metal from video games, but we did. Loki, how was your gaming week?
I've actually been listening to lots of music, not death metal, but I've been trying to find, because the thing is, I've been trying to find music that's of a certain genre, but I don't know what genre it is. It's, like Pendulum, where it's a cross between like heavy metal, drum and bass, and electronica, I guess. But how do you say, I want heavy metal, drum and bass, electronica music?
Have Pandora make a station, or check like Last.fm?
Well, the problem is I'm looking for indie music that's of that same genre, and I found a few things, but it's just like they have so many tags on it. It's like, there's no fucking way I'm gonna be able to find this. Anyways, the actual games I played, or I should say game. I really only played Goat Simulator this week because I haven't really played much at all as far as games go. I did load up South Park for like literally 2 minutes and just to show my friend, and that was that. He proceeded to use all my single day summons, so I had to not save and go back and actually play that section again. But yeah, Goat Simulator is fun. I liked how they changed some of the things because probably for copyright issues, the Yoshi goat is now Italian dinosaur goat, which is funny. They added a Dragon Shout goat, which I haven't actually used yet. But there's a lot more mods on there now. Some new maps. So fun stuff. Just got the achievement for doing all the flips. Trick is to go into the low gravity area and you can flip forever in there. Yeah, so that's all I played this week. Hopefully going to get in some Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 later this week. Got a ton of friends now that are playing that, so it'll be fun.
All right. My gaming week, I actually kept myself pretty busy. I've played a few games this week. Sadly, none of it is really new things for me to talk about. I've been continuing to play Final Fantasy X, the HD remake. I played that a little bit towards the beginning of the week. I got a copy of South Park on PlayStation 3, so I finally got a chance to play the South Park game. I'm not super far into it. I'm just like at the beginning still, where you're going around town with Butters trying to recruit the people for your for your army or whatever, which is, I'm like, isn't this the same plot from the show? But that's all right. It's really funny, of course. The game is hilarious because it's written by, the guys who do the actual show, Matt Parker, Trey Stone. And I thought it was interesting how there's all these little side quests. The way the game plays, I mean, obviously it has the RPG elements, but it reminds me of a 90s click adventure game from the PC, like King's Quest or Loom or some shit. Like I don't know why, but that's kind of what I'm reminded of. Maybe it's because you keep going from static scene to static scene and you interact with things in the scene, be it with your slingshot or, you're looking at, things that are yellow or things you can like open up or whatever. So I just kind of, I don't know. I thought that was kind of neat. It kind of was a throwback to those games. But yeah, the game's funny and definitely worth a look at if you're a South Park fan. Other games I've been playing this week, Diablo 3. Having an experience boost weekend, so I'm still trying to beat Act 5. I think I'm really close, finally, at beating Act 5, because I'm level 69 now, so there's only one more level for me to gain, so I got to be close to the end. But yeah, I wanted to play that during the experience boost weekend, so I've been playing a little bit of that. Also this weekend, Final Fantasy XIV is doing its second beta on PlayStation 4, and this is the beta where you can use your characters from the PC or the PlayStation 3. If you still haven't checked out the Final Fantasy XIV beta on PlayStation 4, I hate to say it, I think you missed your chance. I mean, you could start the download now, and depending on your connection, you might be able to get a couple hours in to at least get a feel for it. But at this point, if you haven't played it, now was your chance to try out the game for free.
It comes out in like a week.
Yeah, it's out. The pre-order starts on the 11th, and those people can play. And I believe PlayStation 3 users who are converting their licenses also get to start playing that day. And then the 14th is when the game comes out.
SSJ100 Matt, by the way, says you need to play South Park in front of your mom.
I will. I'll invite her over. She loves South Park.
I have not seen your mom in ages, and she's wonderful.
Yeah, I should invite her on the show sometime, maybe for Mother's Day or something. We'll have her on the show in the new studio. It'll be fun. Huh?
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
And by the way,
what?
Next week I will be doing another Blue Roses giveaway in Animal Crossing.
You going to work on farming those blue roses?
Oh, I've got like a whole flower bed full now.
All right, stay tuned.
Blue Rose is the Animal Crossing equivalent of crystal meth.
Apparently. So yeah, I've been playing the Final Fantasy 14 beta on PlayStation 4. I am impressed with the technology in that little box, I got to say, because the game runs great. It runs better than it does on my 5-year-old PC, because my PC is 5 years old, but the frame rate is fantastic. The game looks great, and I can broadcast to Twitch using the whole built-in thing, and my network thing doesn't suffer. The graphics look good. You know, I actually played through the 2.2 patch content last night. I streamed it. I really wish Twitch archived the PlayStation 4 stuff. It doesn't. I'm kind of bummed out because I did the Leviathan fight for the first time last night on the feed with Shane. And I actually thought of a pretty clever way, because you know when I do my live streams, I almost always have somebody on Skype that I can kind of banter with, so it's not just watching my little head in the box or listening to rock music. Like, I have to be different. So I always like to banter with somebody on Skype. So, you know, usually Shane is almost always there, or Xtifer, or Grandpa from Horde House, or somebody's usually there bantering with me. Well, on the PlayStation 4, it's a little more difficult, right? Because you can't plug in a mixing board or anything, right? But what I figured out you can do, I get my iPhone, and I call Shane on the Skype app on my iPhone, and I set the iPhone right next to the camera. So he can hear me when I'm talking, and then the listeners hear him, or the viewers hear him through the camera mic, and it works.
So then the viewers are actually listeners too?
Yes, both.
Unless they're deaf.
Then they're just viewers, and they don't care about the banter between Shane and I because there's no subtitles.
We should find a way to subtitle the show, by the way.
God, no. That would...
yeah, I don't know. That'd be a lot of work. So you could use one of those automated things that are kind of hit and miss. But yeah, that's Final Fantasy 14 on PlayStation 4 is great, and I'm probably going to switch to playing on PlayStation 4 when it comes out, since I got it on PlayStation 3. And if you're interested in the game, I would really urge you, try to find a cheap copy on PlayStation 3 right now, and then just convert your license to PlayStation 4. That's the cheapest way to do it, and get 30 days free with the game. You can probably find a copy for $15-20 right now out there. Just make sure it's not used, because you need to have a code. But there you go. That was pretty much my gaming week, honestly. Lots of other stuff I need to try. I've got a EverQuest Landmark beta code that I'm waiting to use. I got to get in there and play that. And let's see, Elder Scrolls Online came out, but I lost my chance at that. I didn't really play that. And WildStar's in beta too, and I've been wanting to test that out. And
I really want to try WildStar.
I really want, and I doubt anybody from Blizzard listens to this show, but if you do, if I happen to have a fan out there that I did not know about that's got the hookup at Blizzard, please flag my account for the Heroes of the Storm Alpha. Thank you. Kiss, kiss, hug, hug.
I really want to. I can't. I'm losing my resistance, Rob.
What?
Because the space goats.
Oh, you want to go back to WoW?
I kind of do when the expansion comes out.
Uh-oh.
That was the other one that was really awesome. I don't remember if it was League of Legends or I think it was League of Legends, but they had, and I'm assuming it's a joke, but they had the Goat Simulator Goat in there as a playable character. It was, I think it was one of those like, Dota
awesome.
type of games or something, but I want to say it was maybe it wasn't League of Legends, but there's a lot of people doing a lot of Goat Simulator things, and that right there, that's the April Fool's game right there that just keeps on giving because it's a legit game.
You know, MMOs do some of the best April Fool's gags. They do some of the worst too.
What was it? The one
Guild Wars 2 had the whole retro level last year. That was amazing.
Oh, there's something else that I did. It
What?
wasn't video game related, but it was an anime. I started Kill la Kill.
Is that the one that Rama told you to watch?
No.
Oh.
Many other people have told me to watch it, and so finally I just broke down and started watching it. Oh my god, that's all I have to say.
Going to our chat room at live.vognetwork.com. Dark Tetsuya says, well, doesn't YouTube kind of have closed captioning? Not sure it's 100% accurate, but anyway. Yes, it does. I don't know if our videos that Jason puts on the Orange Lounge Radio channel at YouTube has that, like, that you can use that, but I bet it's hilariously bad. Because there's some really bad YouTube captioning out there. But
maybe we should check. I'm going to
check it out. You should check out a prior episode, see if that's there. Also, going to more chat, let's see. Hitstun says, WildStar and Elder Scrolls Online were really big at PAX East last year, but they're still not out yet. Elder Scrolls Online actually launched on Friday, so that is now out. WildStar, I believe, is June is when that's coming out. SH200 Matt says, we need to use our tell a friend about the show duty and find a friend that is also a stenographer and get them hooked to OLR. That would be great. I'd love that. All right. Anyhow, so that is it, I believe, for our gaming weeks. That's everybody. Quick housekeeping, and then we will get to the show with the news and everything. Add us on Twitter, twitter.com/OLR. You can also add us on Facebook, facebook.com/orangeloungeradio, and Google+, google.com/+orangeloungeradio. A couple shout-outs I want to give here at the top of the show. I want to shout out the website Outcasts with a Z, outcasts.com. Really awesome. This has not happened to me before, but they actually ran a feature on me on their site, and it talked about the history of Orange Lounge Radio, talking about a little bit of my broadcast background with Understation Live and everything. Outcasts.com is like a GLBT nerd gaming culture site. So.
And Jamie got a name drop even.
I mentioned you in the interview. I am sorry you did not make the story. I knew that was going to get called out.
What with me?
Because your name's in the interview, because it talks about how OLR started. So it talks about Rob and Jamie started OLR, da-da-da-da-da. But the problem is, I said in another part, I talked about how Loki's with it now, but they didn't use that part of it. Because technically, Loki didn't start the show with us, but it's
he
like...
He just kept showing up.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like, now, how could we ever have the show without him? So I am very sorry, Loki, but that was the interviewer's person. I know. Travis and Jessica got shout-outs, too, from the Understation Live stuff. Loki, none for Loki. Bye.
The captioning is hilarious.
Is it?
It's just like, it's terrible. I mean, it's got some... Okay, so Orange Lounge Radio, the little intro part, the way they translate, way but sprawled hollow. Let's see here. There was an... and I don't even know what part this is, doing next. It's all Sky this week gonna kill the Bens and intriguing publishing Google recently. That has nothing. That's not even
kill
close.
the Bens, y'all. Look out if your name's Ben.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Coming for you.
Yeah, you just watch it with the subtitles on. It's hilarious.
That's great. Hey,
there's actually a series of things they do like that for Mass Effect as well.
Oh yeah.
The bad closed captioning.
Oh yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's lots of that out there. So anyway, shout out for our YouTube channel. Check out the bad closed captioning at Orange Lounge Radio on YouTube.
Oh, okay. So the Sky is Sweet thing, it's on this week, something about Amazon or something like that. Uh-huh. That's what it's Jason's little...
Yeah. His little intro he does.
Sky this week gonna kill the Bens. Yeah,
gonna kill the Bens. All right. Where was I? Stop interrupting me. Loki's just mad because he somehow... was missing from the article, but outcasts.com, and a big thanks to them. I really appreciate that. Give them all your clicks. Also, another website to give all your clicks to, a fantastic little show called Troll in the Dungeon, which is a World of Warcraft focused podcast, had me on their show this past Saturday. I don't think the episode is posted on the feed yet, but it will be in the coming days, so check them out. That's Troll in the Dungeon over on iTunes and Stitcher and all that good stuff. And that was the episode from just this past, April 6th. Or no, today's April 6th. April 5th would be the show I was on.
Oh, my God, Rob.
What?
Not next weekend, but the weekend after.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be older.
Your birthday. What's your birthday plans? Anything?
Hopefully going to Sakura Matsuri. I need to make sure it's that weekend. But I want to hang out in San Francisco and eat all the food I don't normally eat. Except the problem, it's also Passover.
Oh.
So don't get cake on Passover.
I was going to say you should go to Dave & Buster's and do your get drunk as hell thing, but...
That means I'm just going to have to eat nothing but mochi.
I'm voting that we change the name of our show according to what it thinks our name of the show is. It's orangeloungeradio.
All right, put that thing away. It's time to get into...
That's because of how you pronounce lounge, Rob. You say lounger, like
lounge.
Because you extra enunciate when you do the intro.
That's not my voice in the intro.
Well, I mean, but when you do another episode of Orange Lounger Radio, you say lounger, which is powerful. You sound almost like you're an evil dictator. This is Orange Lounger Radio.
Orange Lounger Radio. I'll take
dark
it.
Soccer or dark soccer. All right,
well,
close it.
I do have an affinity for kicking balls.
There's her little clip in the next intro. All right, let's get into gaming news. Loki's going to put away the closed captioning and talk to us about what is going on in the gaming world here at Orange Lounge Radio.
So the ever-rumored Amazon set-top box type thing was finally announced during a press event. They had it like live blogged and everything, and it's the Amazon Fire TV. And it's actually a device that, like most of those set-top boxes out there that you can stream, Netflix and, of course, the Amazon Video stuff, Hulu, all that sort of things. It runs Android, so you can run different apps on it and stuff, remotes and all that fun stuff. But the other cool thing about it, though, is it also is a device that you can game on. So they actually have a controller that you can buy for $40 that looks like, a console controller, and you can play games. Of course, they have the whole Amazon Game Studio, so there's that. What's kind of cool, the device is only $99, so there's your final nail in the coffin, Ouya. You're irrelevant now.
Sounds like a big splat.
Some of the games, of course...
Well, hold up. To be fair, the Ouya is $99 with a controller. If you want to play games on the Amazon Fire, you're telling me it's really $139.
Spec-wise, though, it's way more powerful than the Ouya. So, and it's got one thing that the Ouya doesn't have, which is Minecraft Pocket Edition.
Well, here's the $139 question, though. Are you going to buy one?
Am I going to buy one? I don't know if the wife would let me buy another set-top box. I wanted to because we have the Boxy right now. That's kind of crap, but... if my Boxy were to die somehow, some unforeseen accident, then yes, I would totally pick one up.
Why? I'm going to be honest. Why? I can't see the need to get... I mean, I get why this Amazon Fire exists. It's a great, appealing thing for, like, my mom and my dad who are never going to buy a game console but want to have Netflix. Like, the people that buy Rokus and things like that. That's great for them.
No, that's
me,
exactly why I'd buy it. I wouldn't buy it to play games on it. Maybe Minecraft. I wouldn't even play Minecraft.
Yeah, why would you even play Minecraft?
But I would buy it for games. Well, not games, but like maybe I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to publish something to do, to that. But
let's not forget Amazon bought a developer recently.
Yeah,
so they're gonna have something exclusive.
Well,
on
they
there.
do. It's a game called Sev Zero. It's a like first person shooter type thing.
Oh, okay.
So they've got that. Some of the things they're showing: Asphalt 8 and Minecraft. And the other thing, though, is it does work with other Bluetooth controllers. So maybe it would work with a DualShock controller if you have one already. Because a lot of Android's pretty friendly with anything Bluetooth. So I don't know. It's not a huge deal. And also, I think if you buy the controller, you get like some. I don't know how it works, but it's like Amazon coins or something like that. It's like 1,000 of that. Or, I don't know. I guess that you
buy
can
books or something.
Buy
probably.
things with that.
Yeah.
I don't know the ratio of coins to money, but so they've got that, and I don't know. I'm kind of interested. Like I said, I would mainly use it for just like TV stuff. It would be cool though, because I didn't really get to see a lot of the interface thing because I had friends over at the time. But if it's like I think it is, where like I think it might combine like all the different, like you're not going into dedicated apps for different things. I think it's just like, okay, I want to watch like Game of Thrones or something, and then it'll bring up, or maybe Game of Thrones is a bad example. I want to watch The Office or something, and it'll bring up all the different providers that have The Office and where you can watch that, or different movies and things. So it kind of aggregates it all together instead of like, crap, was that show on Netflix or was it on Hulu? I don't know. I have to go browse Netflix. Oh, it's not here. Okay, I gotta browse Hulu. Oh, it's another. Amazon has it.
That's smart. It's like a modern day TV guide.
Yeah, it's just instead of having the Boxy tried doing that, it does it terribly, but they tried to do that with like a lot of the like website streaming services and stuff. And then of course so it does work with other Bluetooth controllers and stuff. And
let me read some chat comments real quick over at live.vognetwork.com. Tiger Claw says, what the Amazon Fire TV lacks is the ability to shop and buy stuff in the Amazon store. That does seem like a pretty obviously missing thing, right? Well, I mean, you could... Well, I think even with Amazon, like when you're using the Amazon movies or TV, like I know when you use the app on the Xbox 360, you're more than welcome to buy those things right there in the app and watch them.
I think you can buy stuff.
Yeah.
You talking about like buying like off of Amazon.com?
Yeah, I think
they have mobile apps for them, and I'm pretty sure that's probably one of the apps that's in the Amazon Marketplace.
Yeah, but just not something they probably featured. But,
well, yeah, I mean, they're not going to show every single app that's available for
Here's a way you can give us more money. Let's see. Kaijudo with some strong opinions on Pocket Minecraft. Pocket Minecraft blows. It's still in alpha. Waste of money. Yeah, I have no interest in Pocket Edition.
I do agree with you. I think it is kind of cheap, and it's just you're saying that. Ooh, it runs Minecraft. It's Android. It runs Minecraft. I mean, come on. It's all Android devices, or hell, all iOS devices run Minecraft. So, it's not a big deal. And because this device is based on one of those mobile platforms,
I'm very interested to see what the PlayStation 4 version brings to the table. Now, granted, PC, but I know the console games have started to kind of go their direction, and the PC kind of has its direction or whatever. So I'm very curious what the extra oomph of the PlayStation 4 brings to Minecraft. And I'm not I know people are going, but the graphics are never going to get any better. I get that, but
I think they could actually.
They could, and the space in the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 versions is limited. Which it's a huge
it would be cool
space,
if you did like the Sonic Ether shaders, or if you could select what type of shaders you want, because the Sonic Ether stuff looks fucking awesome.
Maybe they'll be able to have some of that stuff where you put your own skins and things like that in there too, like because you see a little.
They'll sell you skins.
Yeah, that's true. You see a little bit of that in the 360 version with the Mass Effect and the
they have
Skyrim.
the PS3 one now too.
Oh yeah,
yeah. They don't have dedicated packs where you get like levels and stuff, but they had one they had like a city texture pack and stuff and. They have some character packs, but
could be interesting.
I mean, I don't know. It's put it this way, like for $99, that's about the price that you're gonna be paying for a lot of these set-top boxes. They range around $79 to $99 anyways, and the fact that this one is about 3 times more powerful than those, it has a dedicated GPU in it. You might as well get this one, even if you don't want a game on it, because maybe there's something down the road. There'll be like some free apps on it or something that you want to try out, or who knows what people are going to develop for. If it's popular enough, which I think at that price point, it's almost an impulse buy for tech stuff.
Well, and come Black Friday, they're going to slice it down to $79 or something even cheaper.
Yeah,
for Prime people, I'm sure.
It's definitely if I didn't have the Boxy, I would definitely consider picking that up. But
now, will a drone fly it to my house? That's what I want to know.
No, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. But
okay.
It would be. I mean, might as well. I mean, because it's more powerful. It's going to be able to run even just video apps and stuff better than some of these other systems. Because I got to be honest, my set-top box is pretty old, and it shows. It's really laggy, and it does video okay, but the interfaces are just not very snappy. So it would be cool to check this out. That being said, though, I'm kind of curious to see then if this is really popular, how Apple kind of combats it with a new Apple TV or something. Mm-hmm. So because it's only a moment, it's only a matter of time before they're just
Apple's overdue for a press conference. I think you'd be at an iPad update or not the iPhones. iPhones will be later in the year, but
we know that there's going to be some Apple TV thing at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well. There you go. Well, one game that will not be on the Amazon Fire because you know what? It just needs more oomph behind it. It needs the kind of oomph that the Wii U can deliver, and that is Mario Kart 8 is on the horizon. There was quite the information dump on Mario Kart 8 this week because we're about a month and a half out. I guess maybe 2 months. But May 30th is the big day for Mario Kart 8, and some new information coming out on the game through some trailers this week, and it looks great. A lot of people very pumped for it, which is really good news for Wii U because there's nothing to get excited about.
It does it is
on the horizon.
I got to be honest. So before I was just it's just Mario Kart. It doesn't look that much better. The new trailer is actually it does look a lot better. I mean, gameplay wise, I'm not really sure, but the tracks look pretty and the engine looks nice.
Quickly, some of the things that are new that were from this trailer. There's now a spin boost. So when you're racing upside down or on walls, because remember, this is kind of the new thing for Mario Kart is that it's getting all F-Zero, and now you can be upside down and on walls. You can bump into other racers and certain obstacles to get a speed boost. And there's a spin boost that will basically, they say, is going to change the way players boost and everything. So that could be very interesting. Some new characters announced that are returning from prior games. Metal Mario, Lakitu, and Shy Guy all coming back, which is great. I loved Shy Guy. It was a great racer. So I'm looking forward to that. This is joining the cast with the Koopalings and I'm sure a bunch of the other standards there as well. Some new items in the game. Piranha Plant, which will attach to the front of the car, and then it chomps at other characters, or banana peels on the track, and even shells. No word if that motherfucker blue shell will get eaten by the piranha
You know
plant.
the blue shell is going to be invincible and everybody's bane.
Well, like I was reading some comments on people talking about it. They said that if they had the blue shell like they had it in Mario Kart 64, where it was pretty rare to get it, not just like, oh, you're in last place, you're going to get it every single time. You know?
Yeah.
That would have been a lot better.
Also, a new item called the Boomerang Flower, which, the Boomerang, Hammer Brothers and stuff, you've seen this item in the Mario games before. The Boomerang Flower will let you throw a boomerang at opponents, and it will stun them. And the arc that the boomerang takes will allow you to hit multiple players. You can throw it forward or backward 3 times. That sounds pretty powerful. They also showed off some remixed courses, such as Moo Moo Meadows from Mario Kart Wii, Toad's Turnpike from 64.
That's pretty sweet.
That was the best track. Yes. Donut Plains from Super Mario Kart, redesigned. And instead of going with the retro-looking graphics, they actually took that old course and made it with the new graphics. I mean, it definitely has that retro block look to it, but you'll see it when you see the video. Live recorded music, which I think is kind of neat. And, various control schemes. The Wii U gamepad, the Wii U Pro Controller, and the wheel.
Rainbow Road 64.
Yes. Looks
that
great.
Was fantastic.
Now, by the way, one of the kind of most people agree this is the weakest game that ever came out in this series. Maybe not everybody agrees, but not a lot of love for Mario Kart Double Dash over the years, which was the GameCube version where 2 people were racing at a time. And a very interesting interview with IGN where Hideki Kono said, talking about possibly implementing this in the future titles. Quote, "It wasn't just a simple case of, hey, we're not going to do that again. We really think the 2 racers together in one kart of Double Dash was really unique, and we thought it worked really well. We've got that in our pocket, so if we come up with any new cool ideas that utilize having 2 players racing together, we'll grab that and possibly bring it back out. Having 2 players racing together, it does have a pretty high cost in terms of processing power, so that's an obstacle. That being said, if we could come up with some ways around that processing cost, we may have 2 players, maybe even 3 players racing together." So they're not done with that idea yet. Maybe, I don't know. But
I wouldn't exert too much development staff time on that.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure though we're not going to see this in Mario Kart 8. That just might be something in the future. One other quick thing I want to drop in Nintendo news, because they did do the info dump on Mario Kart 8, and I mentioned it's really the only game on the horizon that we have to look forward to. Certainly there's a lot of stuff down the road, like the Bayonetta 2, and we know there's this stuff. Way down the road, way down there. But one of the other games that's inching closer and closer is the new Super Smash Brothers. They're having a big direct next week, I believe on Tuesday. It is a Nintendo Direct dedicated to Smash Brothers. Some people thinking we're going to get the release date. I'm thinking you might get the month, which we're finally going to know if it's holiday this year or next year. I think you're going to get the name. The real name will finally be out there. So I think that's the big thing they're going to tell you.
Super Smash Brothers U.
Well, it's on 3DS as well, so I don't know if that's
Super Smash Brothers U in 3D.
3DU? Who knows? All right, let's move on. Dark Sakura.
Well, I have to say that kids are very resourceful and sometimes find ways to make things happen. And in this case, a 5-year-old found a security hole in Xbox One account login. A little kid named Christopher tried to log into his dad's Xbox One, and he didn't know the password, so all he did was keep entering spaces after every time it failed, and it let him in. So basically this was reported, and Microsoft thanked him for finding the security hole by, which is actually funny. It said his dad is a security researcher. But basically after they found it and recorded it, Microsoft sent them some gifts as a thank you after, of course, they patched this out. So they gave the kid and his dad, they acknowledged them as Microsoft security researchers for March 2014. It gave them $50 for Xbox One games and a year of Xbox Live Gold. So I guess if a kid's going to try to sneak into daddy's account, I guess there are worse things that could happen for it. But I don't know. I think it shouldn't have been that easy, but at least it's something that was, when it was discovered, it was reported and not used maliciously. Of course, then again, the dad's also a security researcher, so that makes sense. I don't know. Did you hear about that?
I heard about it, but I mean, if there's an exploit that a 5-year-old can accidentally find, that's pretty bad. I mean, I don't know. Why is anyone able to log into someone's account by just hitting the space bar, or not the space bar, but like hitting space a bunch of times? That's just, I don't know. It seems really lazy.
Well, maybe it's just that they didn't figure that. I mean, it could possibly be something that was put in for, system testing at the time, and then they figured it out after the fact.
I don't know. It just, So, anyways, so the Xbox One.
One last thing. Kaijudo also said that kid broke into his dad's cell phone. That kid's going to grow up to be a hacker.
Well, he's just a little brat now, isn't he?
Yep.
So the Xbox One, one of the things, that it kind of lacked compared to some of its competition is the ability to upgrade its internal storage.
Oops.
Well, now they're going to be adding some external storage options coming soon. Apparently, Major Nelson confirmed that they will be adding external data support, and apparently at a later time. Hopefully that means, actual hard drives and stuff, because, a lot of these Xbox One games do require installations, and hell, if you wanted to even go the whole digital route, if you're, in my opinion, dumb enough to do it, that takes up a lot of space, and you can only store, so much in there in the first place. And hell, they just, I think, added the ability to see what you have on there as far as storage space goes, because before it was pretty convoluted what they had on there. I just don't understand how something like that, a core piece of functionality, is just, we'll just get to it later on. We don't really need to have the ability to, install your games on an external device or anything in case you run out of space. Screw that. We'll just leave you to fend with the 500 gigabyte hard drive, which, 500 gigabytes is not that bad when you consider like the Xbox 360 or something, but when the file sizes of these games can be up to 10 times the size of an Xbox 360 game, that adds up pretty fast.
You don't even, is Xbox One even on your radar to get, Loki? So
Fuck no.
Yeah, still not.
Not really ours either.
Unless they announce, even like, let me put it this way, even if they announced that Grand Theft Auto 5 was coming next gen, it was exclusive to the Xbox One, I would not buy an Xbox One.
Wow, that's a pretty strong statement. I'll get an Xbox One eventually, but it's just going to take probably the next Halo and Quantum Break, which I'm anticipating would be this holiday. I don't see why they won't. Or at least, even if Halo is not this holiday, I wonder if they'll do like Halo 2 Anniversary Edition or something.
But to be fair, though, like even the PlayStation 4, there's not really much that wants me. Infamous Second Son looks pretty awesome.
Yeah,
like,
I've heard a lot of good things about that one.
You know what might sell me on an Xbox One is if the new Crackdown game was really awesome. Like that might. The Crackdown is pretty awesome. I kind of like that game, but right now there's just not anything upcoming, especially the multi-platform stuff. Nothing really says, "Oh, I need to get this on next gen."
What if they cut the price for the holiday?
It would have to be by a lot, like a lot. Like we're talking down to $299 or something. I would not. And even that's the thing. I was looking at Wii U's. So, maybe I want Mario Kart, 8. Maybe I do want one of those, systems. But it's just not cheap enough for me. Like I'm not gonna really buy a system for one game, and spending $200 even, $200 or more on it. Just doesn't seem worth it to me.
Going to our chat room over at live.vognetwork.com, VXJaceNXV says, who the hell wants to plug in mass storage into their game console? I don't even like to do that with my computer. I only do it begrudgingly. There's probably not a lot of reason for it right now with so many limited games, although the games are huge. But I do know people like to download, especially when you're downloading entire TV series, which you can do on PlayStation 3, and some people have done it, and Xbox as well. You need a place to kind of put those files that might be away from the drive. So
the reason why they have it that you can't fucking upgrade your drive in the Xbox One or Xbox 360 without buying one that's officially from Microsoft is because they have their fucking stupid file system in there that's, FAT-X or XFAT or something like that. It's just some really stupid file system that they have that is exclusive to those stupid consoles. I mean, they have
XFAT's not exclusive to a console.
Well, they have ways to like format them with like homemade programs and stuff like that, but it's not like it's running FAT32 like the PlayStation 3 was, where they don't have just a standardized file system in there, so you can't just pop in a hard drive. They want you to buy the 10 times more expensive hard drive that's going to be exclusive for that console.
All right, well, moving on to more Xbox news. This news came out early in the week, but is certainly huge as to the direction of Microsoft. Phil Spencer, who was formerly the corporate vice president of Microsoft Studios, is now the head of Xbox over at Microsoft. And there was a interview that he did with Major Nelson or Larry Erb the day that the day after it was announced there. They're talking a little bit about E3 already, and some of the things hyping up there. And some people warming up to Phil Spencer because it does seem like one of the first things he's doing is he's making the conversation about the games. And he also essentially said, I do have a quote here. I'll say this. I know a lot of times people give nods to the different forums out there, the different communities of people. I will honestly say I learn a ton from listening to the feedback, reading the forum ideas. I saw just when I was announced in the position, the first things that Phil Spencer should do as head of Xbox, there were a lot of great ideas there.
Oh, yeah, I saw that too. He better bring back Shenmue 3. It's like, okay, yeah.
Which I think he said was like the number one most requested game for Xbox. It's crazy, which I don't even know how they would do that without a massive Sega partnership. Well, then Sega let the trademark right now.
They would just go up to Sega, and Sega would be like, "Oh, hey, what the hell? What's all this money being thrown at me?
Hey, you want to play a game of Lucky Hit?" Anyway, so yeah, you notice that Phil Spencer does seem to be in tune with the internet critics, for better or for worse. I don't know if that's always necessarily a good thing, but he does definitely want to take the conversation to games. And he's talking about E3 and how they're already, they don't want to have a bunch of suits up there. They want the game makers out on stage talking about the games. And you betcha they're already planning E3. I mean, they're already talking about, how many minutes are we going to give what game and how's that all going to go? You bet all that stuff is being finalized right now. So very interested to see where Phil Spencer takes the company. He's certainly qualified for the job. So let's see what happens. Hopefully we'll appease the people that were not happy with the movies, sports direction of the Xbox. But you know what? I still think that, if Xbox really does make this full-fleshed entertainment channel, I think that's a huge asset.
But that's the thing, though, is I don't think that's really been done. Like, as far as like the whole TV integration, aside from being able to.
I'm not even talking that. I'm talking about original content, like the Halo thing with Spielberg and some of that stuff.
I don't know. That's almost like the same stuff that we see like on Netflix and Amazon, where they have their own original shows. I mean, that's cool.
But Netflix has Emmy award-winning shows like Orange is the New Black and House of Cards.
I don't believe Halo's going to be getting any sort of fucking Emmys.
Well, but could they get nerd cred equivalent? They might not get critical awards, but could they get...
Well, I saw their Halo live-action movie that they just did or whatever someone did. They licensed to. It was kind of... But I just think, though, the whole point, though, is they were focusing like, oh, it's going to be this really integrated experience and stuff like that. And it kind of reminded me a whole bunch when they were talking about the whole second screen experience that you would get with the Xbox 360 even. And then even kind of bringing it back to the Xbox One, where it's like, oh, you can watch Game of Thrones and there's all this interactive material on there. And where is that? Is that going to be happening today? I mean, where is that stuff? Because they talk a big game, but in the end it seemed like there's
no follow through.
It's just like, ooh, I can plug in my cable boxes to the back of my game system like I could a VCR.
Well, it's going to be a very interesting E3 to say the least, so we will be staying tuned. And the news is going to start to dry up as we get a little closer to E3, and then once we hit like mid-May, then all that news starts kind of leaking out, so it's going to be a very interesting ramp up here to the June E3 show. Anyway, more news. Dark Sakura.
Well, everyone knows I'm a big Treasure fan, right? Well, this is something that's pretty happy. So basically, Treasure is actually working with Capcom to make a sequel to the game that they did on 3DS called Geist Crusher. And they're actually doing a version called Geist Crusher God that is basically you go around and hunt boss creatures and kill them. That's the game. But it's Treasure, so it's always got a twist to it. Really neat game, but I thought that this one, given that Treasure has done nothing but awesome games, would definitely be something a lot of people would want to keep on their radar. Just the voice acting, though, in the trailer is pretty hilarious. Because it's Gaist, so it's like, it sounds like they're really going to push for that level. So, yeah, just a little something.
All right. Well, I'm sure that makes you happy to hear about what's going on there.
I love Treasure.
I know you do. Well, let's talk about games that'll be coming out a little bit sooner as we travel around the world and look at release dates. Loki, why don't you start off with the U.S.? Loki, you're dead quiet again. I think you turned your mic off.
Sorry. I accidentally hit the switch. Okay, so anyways, as I was saying, the Xbox 360 version of Titanfall was finally released. That is coming out. And from what I hear, it's actually pretty good, except it runs at 30 frames per second. So there's that, I guess. Also this week, Lego The Hobbit, which is coming out on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, 3DS, and Vita, and PC. The Wii U version, though, not coming out yet, which is kind of surprising. And then also later this week, we've got a game called Putty Squad on Vita and PlayStation 3, Lego Friends on the DS, and hopefully still coming out this week and not delayed again, but Hello Kitty Cruisers.
Yay!
On the Wii U. I know. I guess that was released digitally already, but
was
the
it?
physical version's just not out yet. And also, the one game I think that so far is actually going to be utilizing the Kinect in a non-dance way, Kinect Sports Rivals coming to Xbox One this week. So, might be worth picking up if you have that. And Jamie, I think this is something that you might want to pick up. Disney Magical World for 3DS coming out on Friday.
Ooh.
That's that game that crosses, kind of like Animal Crossing with Disney characters.
Oh, nice.
I need this in my life.
So, there's that.
All right, well, traveling to Japan. Yay, I'm traveling to Japan. Looking at the releases there. Hey, there's a PlayStation 4 game out in Japan this week. It is Final Fantasy XIV Online, just like we're getting here in the U.S. So that is a worldwide release. So you can check that out in Japan as well on April the 14th. On the PlayStation 3... Excuse me. Sorry about that. On the PlayStation 3 this week on the 10th, you can check out Dream Club Go-Go is out on the PlayStation 3, as well as Mato Kiranai Yuge Katai Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters comes out from Arc System Works on April the 10th. Also, Oretache ni Subasa wa Nai Under the Innocent Sky. So, a few games there on the PlayStation 3. On the Xbox 360 this week, just Titanfall. Titanfall gets its Japanese release as well on the 360 this week. On the PlayStation Vita, some similar games there. The Oretache ni Subasa Wanai Under the Innocent Sky is out there, as is the Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters game. Those are both out on the Vita this week on April the 10th. And on the Wii U this week, nothing. They don't have anything until a Monster Hunter packaging that comes out on April 23rd. But the 3DS does have Crayon Shin-chan.
Crayon Shin-chan still?
Yeah, Arashi wo Yobu Kasukabe Iga Stars from Bandai Namco.
That's a series that won't die.
Yeah, that is out on the 3DS this week. And that is a series that won't die. But you can make your own little mini movies and stuff, it looks like. So that's kind of cute. And look, there's booty in this, little cartoon booty in the game.
Doesn't he usually have his pants down or something like that?
Yeah, I think that's the joke. Yeah. There you go. That's the releases for Japan. How about the UK, Dark Sakura?
Well, on the 8th, we have, looks like, it's not actually listed in the name. I think it's Zero on PS4 and Xbox One. And then Max the Curse of the Brotherhood on April 9th. On the 10th is Family Guy, The Quest for Stuff on iOS and Android. Warlock 2, The Exiled. And another one on PC that they're not giving me the name of, which I'm going to see if I can find out what it is. Oh, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Online. And then on the 11th, we have Football Manager Classic 2014, Kinect Sports Rivals, Lego The Hobbit, a bunch of Lego The Hobbit, and a bunch more Lego The Hobbit. So, yeah. That's it.
Well, good news for Lego The Hobbit fans.
Yep.
All right, just a few more stories for you guys in the classic game of the week, and it's a good one tonight.
All right, so this is kind of disappointing, but apparently the Resistance games, they are going offline starting April 8th, and that is, of course, the online multiplayer portion of the game. You will not be able to play that anymore come April 8th. I don't know, I had a lot of fun playing Resistance, the first one at least, split-screen multiplayer. That was kind of fun to be able to do that. Didn't really get too much into 2 or 3, though, but it's still disappointing, though, to see that they're taking that down. I guess, not a lot of people are playing it anymore.
All right, well, one more thing going offline, not just Resistance going offline, but this one's having a huge impact. The Gamespy network is going offline. This is going offline on May 31st. We sort of saw the hint of this coming when Nintendo suddenly decided they were going to pull the Wii online stuff all. And, it was theorized that there's probably something larger going on with Gamespy and that they're increasing fees and Nintendo didn't want to pay them. And sure enough, the whole damn plug's getting pulled on all of Gamespy. Gamespy Technologies closing the matchmaking service on May 31st. This is really the end of an era because I remember using Gamespy to find a game of Quake to play online.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Aren't some modern games actually using Gamespy still? Like, I want to say Borderlands does.
Yes, Borderlands does use Gamespy.
Oh, that's gotta suck.
Yeah, so there are some games that that were out there that are no longer going to work anymore. Now, I don't think anybody's used Gamespy since, 2010, which is when Borderlands 1 would have been.
But Borderlands 2, though, uses it as well.
No, it doesn't. Borderlands 2 doesn't use Gamespy.
You sure about that?
Yeah, it uses Steamworks, I think, or something else.
I hope so.
A chatter can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost positive Borderlands 2 used something else. If the company doesn't have the funding or the reason to go back and make another network work with the game, it's going to not work anymore. So, this shouldn't be a huge surprise. GameSpy stopped making editorial content in 2013. Glue Mobile, the mobile games publisher, actually bought this in 2012, and they kind of just ran it into the ground, literally. So, and Bobby Blackwolf confirmed that Borderlands 2 uses Steamwork in our chat room at live.vognetwork.com. And what's funny is that Bobby said when he interviewed them, I even asked them that, and they were like, "No, fuck GameSpy." So I guess they're not too happy about the first time around. Who knows? So. Again, the end of an era. GameSpy was originally launched actually as a Quake server search program. I used to use that to play Quake games. Man, I miss those days. So, all right. Well, here on this show, we like to look back at an era long gone with a segment we call the Classic Game of the Week. Dark Soccer's going to dive into the gaming vault and find a game that she thinks, hey, you should play this game right now if you can find it. Dark Sakura.
In the original form.
Good luck. Dark Sakura, what is the classic game of the week?
The classic game of the week is Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
What?
Sorry, I was trying to get your attention offline, but...
You okay over there?
No, my mic got caught under the cord.
No. Oh, the joys of live radio. There we go.
Yep.
All right, so... As we were saying, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Yep. And, of course, the one with enough music to actually play is the 1990 version. But I am specifically referring to the original that came out in 1985. When I was 9 years old, I would play the crap out of this game. And it was released... like I said, in 1985, and distributed by the World Almanac and Books of Facts. It was published by Pharos Books. It was included with some versions of the Amiga 500. And there was also, like I said, an enhanced version that came out in 1990 that did not have the Almanac copy protection, but it had disc-based copy protection. And there was a further deluxe expanded version that came out in 1992. So basically, you have to use your knowledge of geography and clues to chase down Carmen's henchmen, or henchwomen, because there were henchwomen, and eventually arrest Carmen herself. So you'd have to go to the country that the crime happened and then use hints about where to go next, and you basically chase all over the world. And there were some fun jokes, there were definitely some puns going about. And some inaccuracies for some of the pictures. Like, for example, when you go to Peru, instead of showing you a picture of Lima when you're there, it actually shows you Machu Picchu. So, but at any rate, if you go to the incorrect location, you get fake clues and you have to backtrack until you can find which way the vile henchman went to. It's Vile. And then your case will run out of time and your culprit will escape. And basically you're reporting to Interpol and everything. So eventually, though, if you do keep going along the case, you can basically exclude all but one of the suspects. And then you can issue an arrest warrant, which is actually really inaccurate because...
I love some of the cheesy animations that were in the game. Like you have a little burglar dancing across the screen right now. It's a Vile henchman.
The arrest warrant thing was actually super inaccurate because Interpol actually uses what's called red notices, which means that you have the right to ask the local government to arrest somebody instead of you actually having an arrest warrant. You have to go through the local government. But anyway, going back to the game world, you can be promoted if you answer different geography questions right, and you use the reference book that came with the program. So it's really edutainment. As far as some of the different locations that are in the game, you had Buenos Aires, you had Sydney, you had Bamako in Mali, you had Tokyo, you had New Delhi, you had Reykjavik, you had Moscow, different places. I mean, all kinds of places all over the world. And there's something else that really came along with this is that basically there's been certain things kept canon even through different versions of the game. And, I think that it's been established that there are different universes for the Carmen Sandiego franchise, but there's one thing that's always remained constant is Carmen herself. I mean, yeah, her outfits have changed and they've changed her hair color like once, but she's always been Latina, and always really strong, in control of the company and, her Vile group. But the whole point of it was that she was doing it for the challenge and not necessarily for any kind of really overly malicious purpose. And the fact that she can keep all these people, under control, that she has a really tightly run, I'd say, organization, that it's actually made her kind of a role model for young girls, even if, she's breaking the law, but still. So there were, of course, many other games in the series. We've had multiple versions of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. We've had the Treasures of Knowledge version that came out in 2001, and then there were also Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego. There were also various other. There was Where in the USA, Where in Space, Junior Detective, Where in America's Past, Where in North Dakota, which was a prototype. Where in Time is probably one of my favorites because I was really good at it. There was Where in Europe, Where in the USA, Think Quick Challenge, Great Chase Through Time, World Detective, Math Detective, Treasures of Knowledge, Secret of the Stolen Drums, Mystère au bout du monde.
Wow, I didn't even know all these other ones. Actually, you talking about the other versions, I'm going to use this opportunity to switch over to some footage from the original Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah. There was also the TV show, which was Where in the World, Where in Time, Where on Earth was an animation, and Where in the Universe was a planetarium show. There were also albums that was Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego and Out of This World. So we've had tons of different, pretty reputable publishers and distributors. We had PBS. I will take anything with Fox with a grain of salt, but it was Fox Family Channel and Fox Kids. But we've had BAM Entertainment, Mindscape, The Learning Company, Broderbund, which was the original publisher, or developer, I should say. Just all kinds of, really good, I think, has come out of, the franchise. And, of course, you also worked for the Acme Detective Agency that worked worldwide. So, but I'm trying to see. Okay, Acme Vile was. If I can find what Vile stood for, because that was the one thing that's eluding me. Okay, Vile was not an acronym. It was just VILE, but it didn't really mean anything. So that's probably why I didn't know what it meant. So there you go. And of course, the leader of Acme is the chief, who was a sassy black lady that didn't need no man. She was awesome.
In the TV show, yes.
In the TV show.
Which everybody in chat talking about the TV show.
Yeah.
Dying for me to play the theme.
But, well, you have to stay tuned to the very end of the show.
That's right. You just sit down and shut up and wait.
Maybe the same person who picks the classic game also picks the fortune cookie. But yeah, that's where in the world is Carmen Sandiego.
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Maybe in China, according to this player right now. Who knows? So there it is, your classic game of the week. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Great series. Just I one of the all-time best edutainment games from my youth. You know, you've got Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego, Number Munchers, and Oregon Trail. That's about it. Those are the huge ones from our youth.
Oregon Trail.
I know, right? Dungeon Buster says...
Okay, it's Villains International League of Evil, but I don't think the very original...
do you think they retconned that in?
Through the meaning has consistently been maintained since 1985. Well, see, I didn't realize that.
Huh.
It wasn't in any of my stuff, so...
Wow.
But
you learned something from our chat room tonight.
Well, I forgot anyway. I hadn't touched the game in probably since I was 11.
You know, Jamie, it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes.
You know what? I'm making the big W off the line because it's the whatevs.
Whatever. All right. That is it for this part of Orange Lounge Radio. But don't go anywhere, you guys. We got plenty more Orange Lounge Radio to come. Right after a quick break, we're going to talk to you guys in the Skype segment at 1-877-GAME-OLR. Username on Skype, Orange Lounge Radio. We got the Fugle question of the week, rapid fire news, and plenty more gaming news when we come back right after this with more of Orange Lounge Radio. Welcome back, everybody, to Orange Lounge Radio, live on this April the 6th of 2014 with episode number 547 of our show. And if Game of Swords or whatever's done and wrestling is done and all that stuff.
Swords.
Is it Chair of Swords? Whatever.
By the way, Honest Game Trailer or Honest Trailers, whatever, finally did a Chair of Swords one.
I like the compilation of all the death scenes.
And featuring the most uncomfortable chair ever.
But anyway, all that stuff, all that is hopefully wrapping up by now, so some of you guys might be joining us just after that. Well, you missed some chatter in the first segment. We were talking about April Fool's joke, the new Amazon Fire, Mario Kart 8. So you're just gonna have to check this out on the podcast feed, which will be available tomorrow morning, both on iTunes Store and of course Stitcher Radio. And if you do listen to us wherever it is you listen to our show on the podcast or what have you, be sure to leave us a nice review. Help spread the word about the show. We really appreciate it. All right, Jason's telling me in chat wrestling is not over. Oh well. I thought it was because people started showing up all of a sudden. So I was like, oh, maybe it finished. But fine. Maybe it'll be done by the time phone calls start. All right. In the meantime, let's get some rapid-fire news. So we'll start with Loki.
All right. So this was a game I actually played, at least the second one in the series of Metro. You may remember Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light. Well, there was something that leaked out that was apparently an internal document from Deep Silver, and it was showing a title called Metro Redux, which is basically a redo or HD-ified version of those two games for consoles for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. It was later confirmed, actually, by 4A Games and Deep Silver that it is a title that's in development, and they're going to be sharing more. They say this side of E3, so sometime before E3, you'll find out more about it. And I don't know, I'd be excited about that. I mean, because those games are pretty good, had really good storylines. The Grand Theft Auto 5 iFruit app is now available on Vita. That was something that was released originally on Windows Phone, iOS, and Android. That was basically like a little fake, the iFruit is their kind of Apple clone in the game, and it had a bunch of different apps on there for customizing your cars, customizing your license plates, and they even had like a little Tamagotchi game for Chop where you can kind of train them and raise them. And now you can do that if you have a Vita. So that's kind of cool. And it is free to download. It works with the PlayStation 3 version of the game, of course. And last but not least, the Call of Duty Ghost Devastation DLC is seriously jumped the shark. I got to be honest. I don't know what the fuck. I mean, I guess other than having fun with the series, cool. That's awesome. But like the stuff that they've done for Call of Duty hasn't really made a lot of sense for Ghosts. They have basically the ability to play as the Predator in one of the maps. And what they've done kind of with Call of Duty Ghosts is each map has its own kind of like, basically it's like a kill streak that you get that's exclusive to that map. And one of them, in this case, is actually playing as the Predator. And I think one of the other maps, I think it was Ghosts. I don't think it was Black Ops 2, but Ghosts had it, I want to say, where there was a map where you could play as Michael Myers from Halloween.
Like, you mean William Shatner?
So, it's just, I don't know, cool that they're having fun with it. You know, people enjoy that kind of thing. That's cool. I mean, so that is coming out. That actually launched last week on Xbox One, Xbox 360. The PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3 versions, I'm assuming, are coming later on. Oh, and PC later on as well, because Xbox gets that exclusive window. So.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, moving on to a short window of time for you to get tickets for the Dota 2 International 2014. The Dota 2 International Championship for 2014 is taking place at the Key Arena in Seattle. It will be taking place from July 18th to July 21st. And if you wanted to go, well, guess what? You're already out of luck, because the tickets sold out in an hour. So you had 1 hour window to catch that. 10,000 tickets sold within an hour. So Dota 2, it's kind of popular there. So you can check that out in Seattle. Huh?
A bit.
Yeah, you can check that out in Seattle at the Key Arena. You can get your tickets on eBay to go see that. The Key Arena, that's where the Supersonics used to play. But sadly, Seattle doesn't have a team anymore, and they were unsuccessful in taking ours. So Key Arena, at least still able to have these big events, such as the Dota 2 International. You can try to find the tickets on eBay if you really want to go, but I'm sure they'll sell the whole viewing passes online and all that good stuff. Blizzard taking Hearthstone finally to the iPad. They've been talking about doing this for a little bit when they first announced the game, and now that the game is live, it's time to start the 18-month beta process that Blizzard will go through. I'm exaggerating here, but with Hearthstone on the iPad. But here's the catch: you can only download this in Australia, Canada, and New Zealand. Those are the only places where Hearthstone is actually available on the store. But some of you crafty people have figured out how you make an account in another country and download the game to your device anyway. So there's quite a few people that are doing that. So there's all these walkthroughs out there.
It doesn't involve anything about having iTunes cards for those countries, does it?
I don't think so.
Because I know that's the way that they do it for music, but don't quote me.
I don't care enough about Hearthstone to go to the Canadian store and make a fake account and download it.
Neither do I, but
I'll
but with like a review would be nice.
Well, I reviewed it on the PC, and it's.
I mean, hearing more from our listeners in those countries, we would like reviews from them.
Oh, sure, of course. I'd like to hear if you thought it was as mediocre as I did. There you go. Hearthstone on the iPad. I know there's some fans out there that are going to be angry at me for saying that, but, you can. I got my opinion, you got yours. Email us if you want. Participate at orangeloungeradio.com. Lastly, this was news this is actually old news, but it slipped under our radar, and so I need to bring this up because this news came out the week that we had the short show because I was moving. So this completely was not on our radar, but it was brought to my attention this week that there is a Gauntlet reboot happening. And there's yes, there's a trailer out there now, and you can actually check this out. Maybe I'll play a little bit of this here in studio. I don't remember if there's narration or what have you, but just for Dark Sakura's sake, you can see there it's coming from WB Games. And
it better have the music.
I don't think it does have the original music.
Crying.
But you can see there it's very Diablo-esque in how it looks. So it looks like it's taking elements of Gauntlet and mixing it with Diablo.
Fearless champions, destined to face the horrors.
Okay.
So that's what the new Gauntlet looks like. And luckily, they still call them warrior, Valkyrie, elf. Like, they didn't try to give them names and all this stuff. So.
This is Bob the elf. We have Gertrude the Valkyrie.
They're saying it is a completely modernized action RPG. It's going to be direct to digital WB Games Vault, which means you're pretty much only going to be able to get it on the Steam and those types of places. What is interesting about this, though, it's being made by Arrowhead, as I mentioned. You may not know their other game, but it's Magica, which
was cute.
Yeah, Magica was a huge game, and it was pretty cool.
And the Tron robes.
Yeah, the Tron robes and all that stuff. So those are the people making Gauntlet. So that's pretty exciting there. So there you go. Gauntlet is being remade and supposedly out this summer on digital platforms, which means the price should be right as well. We'll see. Dark Soccer, what do you have for us?
Disney. Okay, so yeah, as Loki said during the last part, Disney's Magical World 3DS is supposed to be coming out, but there is it's supposed to be an exclusive. The 3DS XL that goes with it is an exclusive for Walmart. And I don't care enough to go to Walmart to get it. But there will also be coming out. There's the Mickey 3DS XL. There's also a peach pink Nintendo 2DS that's an exclusive for GameStop that will be coming out to celebrate Disney's Magical World launch. The game will be out on April 11th, and my birthday is this month. Just saying, people. Also, there are Australian ratings out for Castlevania Aria of Sorrow, F-Zero GP, F-Zero GP Legend. Sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. And those are listed for the Wii U's Game Boy Advance store. So we should be seeing those probably before too long. Supposed to be out maybe this month. And then, last but not least, there is a statement from the Sonic Lost World producer who wants to do more Nintendo DLC. That's Izuka Takashi, who created, like I said, Sonic Lost World. Basically wants to do more levels working with Nintendo, but that could be for Zelda or Yoshi levels. It could use other Nintendo IP, but it is just different things that they want to do going out for Sonic Lost World. And that's it.
All right. That Sonic Lost World DLC sure looked interesting. I thought it was like an April Fool's joke, or I didn't believe it was a thing until I actually was seeing the screenshots and the videos in motion and stuff. I was like, wow, I didn't think they were going to go that far with it, but that's kind of neat. All right. Let's get to the Fugle question of the week. Every week, we ask a question on our Facebook and our Google Plus communities. You slam those words together, and you get Fugle. Let's get to the question, which has to do with that newfangled Amazon Fire we were talking about earlier. And we posted to our communities, a new challenger approaches. The long rumors of Amazon jumping into the gaming arena proved true this week with the announcement of the Amazon Fire. What'd you think of the announcement? Do you think the Amazon Fire will impact gaming? And more importantly, are you getting one? Let's get to some of the answers. Our buddy Shane answered, Shane Alinko answered and said, is this not the Ouya 2.0, but maybe done better? I have faith that Amazon will support it, but I don't think it's going to be huge competition to the main three. No desire to get one because of that. Critical Myth, the man behind tv.vognetwork.com with his crew over at the Critical Myth show, says, it's a bit closer to what the Ouya claimed it would be, but I still don't see a need for it. Those already using the Amazon Fire services might feel differently. Red the Haze says, I like the idea that someone like Amazon is trying this out despite their efforts with the not-so-warm reception of the Fire tablets, since they have somewhat of an ecosystem in place already. I don't think they'll do anything for hardcore gaming except maybe push Sony to bring Vita TV to the US. Interesting thought. It is interesting that one Amazon exec was making a distinction that this device is not a gaming device, and probably shows their fear of ending up like Ouya, and probably why they're marketing the Fire TV as a set-top box first. Blood Drunk says, never really had any interest in those TV boxes. The announcement of Fire TV doesn't really change that. I still think that having a laptop and desktop plugged in with wireless keyboard and mouse is the way to go. More power and diversity. Burr replied and said, I think it has the best chance of making an Android a credible console platform, but in the end, it's stuck in a hard place where anything with wide enough appeal would probably play just as well on tablet or smartphone, and anything that would get the hardcore gamers' attention would have to compete with more established platforms. Philippe A replied, I hope I said your name right, said, Fire TV will be a great boost to the local economies it is marketed in. The amount of jobs created to dispose of them will open up new positions in the waste management sector. Not since the plastic guitars from Guitar Hero or the Ouya has a sizable increase in landfill size been needed. Anyone here owning a Zune or a Gizmondo knows well where things like this end up. Welcome to your new home, Fire TV. That was a sassy answer.
I don't think it's gonna go anywhere just because it's.
He's saying it's going to the dump. That's where it's going with your game.com and your what the hell were those tacos?
For the record, we gave our game comms away.
What were the taco phones called?
The Nokia
Engage.
We gave those away too. No, I think we sold one.
It's because they didn't have Patrick Stewart as a pitchman for that. You know, it's why that didn't end up working out.
Engage. All right. Nemesis47 replies and said, though this has potential, it's not going to be enough to beat the big three as far as gaming and will be the next Ouya. I don't got any intention of buying the system. I'll stick to my PlayStation 3. Tech 2030 says, I think this will have a better chance of being a third console than something like Ouya or GameStick, considering it has great video streaming functionality. Our pal Tiara replies and she says, this will be the Philips CDI of a new generation. Ouch. And Tiger Claw says, it could do better than the Ouya if the processing power is better, which we know it's going to be, so we'll see. Going over to Google+, I don't want to ignore our pals over there on Google+. Again, you can follow us on Google+. If you just go to google.com/plus Orange Lounge Radio. And we didn't get a single answer on Google+.
Hey, Rob.
Well, confirmed, you guys. No one's using Google+.
I was just thinking, if we're calling it Foogle, would the opposite be Goobook?
We could call it Goobook. I don't know. It's a little...
That's a little bit more even between Google and Facebook.
But yeah, not a single answer on our Google. Where's Act Deft and Flacco Jones, Red Entertainment, and the guys that usually answer over there?
Here's the thing.
They're eating a pizza.
You're all watching WrestleMania.
Everyone's talking about like it's trying to compete with, you know, home consoles. It's not. It's trying to be a set-top box. That's all it's trying to be. It's trying to push Amazon shit that they have on Android and their services, like their video streaming services. That's all it is. That being said, though, it's going to be way fucking better than the Ouya. I mean,
yeah.
And I think they've already said that they're probably going to get the, you know, was it the Ouya, the run on it anyway, so, you know.
What's interesting and I think very telling about those answers, I don't think a single person in there said they're getting one. Not a single one. I mean, granted, you know, us gamers, we're not the target audience, I suppose, but I don't know.
Well, like, I wouldn't get it for any of the games that they have on there because, like, you know, had it come out, like, several years ago before Minecraft was on consoles, then that would have been like, oh, yeah, I can play Minecraft on my TV now. But now it's just like, whatever.
All right. Well, let's move on with some more news. Loki.
So there's a survey sent out about the PlayStation 4 and mainly like the PlayStation Network services and stuff. And there's some stuff that they were asking about that kind of leads people to believe that they're going to be doing a reputation system, kind of like what they have on the Xbox One, which I think is a great idea. Basically saying the system would assign users reputation ratings based on feedback from fellow players. And mentions, I guess, an improved matchmaking system. Also, they're saying that it was going to take reputation into consideration when pairing. So basically, it's exactly the same. What I want to see is like Amazon-style reviews for players, like on your profile. This player sucks. 1 star. Yeah.
No, that sounds like it would be horrible. I can't even
hilarious.
imagine. Oh my gosh. So,
but you'd have the people that found it helpful, people that didn't find it helpful, and we can, a Metacritic score maybe.
Can you imagine what your profile would say? This guy is so angry, and he kicked my ass at Grand Theft Auto 5.
I don't talk on my headset, really.
No, you don't.
no, because I'm in the room with knowing stuff. Yes, if my coworkers were playing with me, they would probably fill me out and say quite negative things about me because they always say I'm hacking, even though I can play any like we've switched consoles so many times now. It's like, oh, he's hacking. It's like, fine, I'll beat you on your console. I'll play on yours, you play on mine. Oh, he's just hacking that one now too. It's like, people.
All right, let's go to some more news, and this one's kind of interesting. Like, where have your favorite franchises ended up? Going to pachinko machines, and the newest characters that will be coming to pachinko machines, Fatal Fury and Samurai Showdown.
What?
These are Pachi slots machines that are headed for Japan. SNK Playmore is using the Fatal Fury and Samurai Showdown names to make these Japanese slot machines, which are, I guess, I have not played these, but I guess it's kind of like
They'll license
pachinko.
anything. I mean, seriously, remember when they were licensing, what was it? I think, I don't know if it's Samurai Showdown or King of Fighters or something. It was that shmup game. Mm-hmm. I think it was a King of Fighters shmup game. It's like, okay. Seriously.
Well, these series haven't had games in a very, very, very long time. So Fatal Fury Premium is one of the games, and Samurai Spirits, because that's what it was always called overseas. It's Samurai Spirits Kengoku. There's actually trailers for these. I have not watched this yet. I think I should. What do you guys think? Should I watch this trailer here?
All right.
Let's
Sure.
take a look.
Let's do it where no one else can see it.
I got to see how fat. Well, if you're watching OLR on YouTube, you can see the trailer
What?
here. What?
Wait. Stop.
I'm stopping? Okay, stop. Pause.
Black Wolf just said R.I.P. Mickey Rooney. Did Mickey Rooney die?
I thought didn't he die a long time ago?
No.
Oh.
Hold on. Okay, play it. I'm going to look this up.
You stopped that trailer just to say that a celebrity had passed away?
Dude, it's fucking Mickey Rooney.
Yeah, I know, but I kind of thought he was already dead. No offense. I mean,
You also thought Shirley Temple was dead.
I did think she was dead.
Girl.
There's a lot of people I think are dead. Speaking of dead, let's go back to the franchise for these series. Or let's go back to the trailer for these franchises that are super dead. TMZ reporting that Mickey Rooney died. That's what everybody's saying in chat. Well,
Sad.
when was the last time Mickey Rooney was out in public?
Well, he was in a night at the museum and...
All right, anyhow, here it is. Going to back to the trailer. Oh, man, this is so rude because when you see this, you're like, oh, man, it's going to be a new game. Like, you see all the characters, and it's got the rock music and all this stuff. You're like, oh, my God. Geese Howard. So, like, yeah, you're, like, thinking new game, and then it's... I just love the little power ballad playing in the back.
Yeah, next-gen fighting
I
game.
know, right? Doesn't it look like, oh my God, it's going to be a next-gen Fatal Fury. I'm so fucking excited. And then it's like, oh, wait, but he's in a casino. What's he doing in a casino? I want to see how long into this trailer it takes before it's given away that it's a slot machine.
Oh, not until the end, I'm guessing.
Oh, that's so rude.
Boom.
Yeah, we're already like 3/4 of the way through the trailer.
I will be willing to bet, yeah, it's not until like the very end where they show the machine.
Do we get to see some balls? Because, pachinko. It's pachinko.
It's
next level. There it is.
Yep,
There's the
see, not
machine.
until the
That's it.
troll.
They show one little machine. What a troll. Jerks. All right, Dark Sakura, do you have some better news for us?
So, John Panette died too. He's funny.
Is everybody dying today? What's going on with that?
Well, Game of Thrones was on. It's become self-aware. It's
right
killing
now,
people
bye.
outside of the show now.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
What do you have for us?
I have growling. Well, speaking of things that I guess... No, I'm not even going to go there. I'm not going to say things that are dead.
Things that are going to be dug up years from now? Come on, you were thinking it.
So...
You were thinking it.
Literally cannot even.
Oh, what was the joke? Things in the ground? Was that the joke?
Things that should stay dead.
Listen, that's not fair. They're not buried yet.
I'm sorry.
Are you guys done?
I'm waiting to hear about these cartridges. That's all I'm talking about.
I didn't even say there were cartridges. You just spoiled the story, Mr. Spoiler, but
I didn't say nothing.
Mr. I'm going to spoil the Hunger Games for Jamie earlier, even though I asked you to.
Whatever.
It's true. Well, good to know that my powers of deduction are accurate. Anyway, so remember that group that was trying to dig up E.T.? Okay, sorry.
Oh my God, they're digging up Elizabeth Taylor? God, she just died.
She didn't just die.
That's so rude.
She didn't.
Oh, you mean the game. E.T. Yeah, I remember.
The Atari 2600 version of E.T. There was a group that was going to film a documentary about trying to dig it up out of the dump in New Mexico. And they got the okays from the NMED, Environmental Protection Division of Solid Waste Bureau. They approved a waste evacuation, and it was submitted by Xbox Entertainment Studios, who is going to apparently, I guess, be publishing this documentary and filming it. So we have efforts from Lightbox Entertainment and Xbox Entertainment to let the dig happen. This is going to be about as, okay, did anyone remember, anybody remember when Geraldo tried to go into Al Capone's vault or whatever the fuck it was? This is going to end up just like that. You know what's going to be in there? Nothing. They're going to find shit. And
they will actually find shit.
They'll find
now,
Al
it would be
Capone.
funny, though, if they actually find, like, neat relics from the 80s that are broken. Hello? No. It's going to be nothing.
They might find like some like decomposed Cabbage Patch Kids and like maybe a speak and spell that still works in there somewhere.
Now, would a decomposed Cabbage Patch Kid be a Garbage Pail Kid at that point?
might possibly be.
For the record, Bobby, I'm not watching the movies yet. I'm reading the books.
But when you do watch the movies, Bobby will be quick to point out that the second one, Catching Fire, the Capitol is one of the Dragon Con hotels. And it really is. It's pretty awesome to be in there and be like, oh, I'm at the Capitol. So
Okay. At any rate, I'm reading the books first.
all right, fair enough. So you can be let down by the movies. No, I'm just kidding. The
Maybe.
Movies are great. Loki, what politically incorrect thing do you have for us next?
Well, let's see. I've got basically just that Wolfenstein, they have that Doom beta planned for just PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. And I remember correctly, and I wanted to say I looked it up, but then I saw something shiny and I forgot to look it up. But I want to say that that whole Doom beta thing is actually on all the box art for all the games. So that's kind of a little misleading if you think about it, that they're only doing the beta for, select versions of the game, but they're going to feature it on the box. Yep, there it is. Xbox 360 pre-order for Doom beta access. Asterisk, or it's only on these certain systems here. I guess it could be very far out, and maybe they expect that you're going to have a brand new console by then. I'm willing to bet that the next Doom game is only going to be, for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC. Which is probably why the beta is not on current gen.
I don't see why it wouldn't be. I think the current gen stuff is starting to sunset a little bit.
I'm sorry, last gen at this point. Remember, current gen, last gen.
We're kind of in between now. So, yeah, I think the 360 PlayStation 3 era is you're starting to see the sunset on it. I mean, I think they'll still have some, big games this year. I mean, we still know that the Kingdom Hearts 2 remake is happening at some point. That was announced before. And, there's some other little things here and there that'll probably take us into 2015. But I think, especially by next holiday will be like the last stuff you see on those consoles. And even this holiday, it's going to start to thin out because they want you to buy the new stuff. So that's where all the games are. So, and I'm sure the Doom game is only on those consoles as well.
So, yeah, I think that's why they have it. They figure, between now and whenever that beta comes out, because that could either be the end of this year, next year, who knows, that, a lot of people will have, another console by then.
All right. Well, speaking of, betas and things that ended up launching, on the current No, actually, it's on your current PCs, and it will be on the next-gen hardware soon enough. Elder Scrolls Online was released on the PC this week. And, they had some hiccups going into the launch, but the game is now out. And kind of the resounding, I hear a lot of people, there's some people that are really into it, that are really enjoying it. But I'm hearing a lot of resounding feedback, and this has been true on Horde House leading up to the show, too, that why are we paying for this? That it's not able to compete with some of the other pay MMOs right now. Now, I don't know. I kind of think that's the way all these games tend to be when they announce a pay subscription. Final Fantasy XIV has a subscription right now. World of Warcraft still has a subscription right now. That's how these games kind of go. I think Elder Scrolls will be able to ride it out for a little bit, but it's all about can they, bring the players in and can they catch that buzz wave? And right now, there's been a lot of people that have tried it that have been like, meh. I'd rather just play Skyrim.
I was, when they first announced it, I was like, oh, yeah, Skyrim, but it's going to be online and stuff. That's going to be awesome. And then it was just kind of from there, just kind of a downward slope. The more and more I saw about the game, the less and less interested I was in the game. And then I played the beta, and I was like, nope.
And why was that? Why were you turned off?
It just wasn't engaging. It was very... I don't know. It just didn't feel like Elder Scrolls to me. It felt like we're just trying to shoehorn Elder Scrolls into an MMO, and I just didn't like it. Also, another big pet peeve: it didn't support controllers, so I didn't like.
Well, I think it's going to have to if they put it out on PlayStation 4, right?
Well, yeah, but it just wasn't very interesting. And once again, I don't want to pay for an MMO because I just don't. The amount of time I get to play that kind of stuff is just very mixed, so I just can't dedicate $15 a month to something that I probably, I may not play that month.
Dungeon Buster in our chat room over at live.vognetwork.com says, Elder Scrolls Online should have spent a bit more time in beta from what I've read. Some bugs and broken quests I've seen in the beta were still issues. Uh-oh. That's not good. So there it is. Elder Scrolls is out. If you feel differently, if you're really enjoying the game, let us know. I got to be honest. I haven't really played it, but I don't really there's no demo right now, or there's no way to download it and play free to level 10 or anything like that because it's new. I assume that'll happen in the coming months, or there'll be the PlayStation 4 beta. So I'll check it out at that point, but for now, I just don't see the reason. I'm juggling Final Fantasy 14. I know I'm going to get sucked back into World of Warcraft when Warlords of Draenor comes out. There's still Diablo 3 in the interim, which technically isn't an MMO, but close enough. It's just I just don't got time for it. And nobody got time for that. Elder Scrolls.
All people want is they want the Elder Scrolls Skyrim, but with some way to play co-op or something.
I think people want Elder Scrolls 6. That's what they really want.
If the next Elder Scrolls game comes out, if Elder Scrolls 6 comes out and it has, 4-player co-op or even 2-player co-op, I think that people are just not going to care.
Well, Elder Scrolls 6 isn't going to be announced for a while. You're still going to have Fallout 4 before
Fallout's
you have that.
Next. Yeah. Or Doom, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go to the mailbag. Every week you guys send us emails. Sometimes we have wrong opinions on things, and you want to set us on the right path, so you can do that. Participate at orangeloungeradio.com is the place where you can participate with the show. Again, our email address, participate at orangeloungeradio.com. Dark Sakura dives into the mailbag head first and pulls out. She finds Carmen Sandiego in there.
Yeah, she's hiding right there, but I'm busy talking about food with Ikuma-san.
Well, you're going to have to take a break so you can talk about emails with our listeners over at live.vognetwork.com right now.
All right. Well, first email comes from, I'm going to say Jonathan, because that's all I get. Hey, OLR crew. My only problem with Oculus Rift buyout is that Kickstarter is for indies that can't get a company to fund them. Let be real, Oculus Rift could have been funded from the start. Okay, I think that the typing on here is kind of weird. Why are the little Kickstarter pledgers' money not worth any returns? In the end, it's the backers' fault, though. Thanks, Jonathan.
I kind of think Oculus did try to get the other type of funding in the start, but people laughed at it because we all laughed at the virtual reality stuff in the 90s. The Lawnmower Man came and went. Kickstarter was how this thing got funded, and I think it did. If you look at Facebook buying them for $2 billion, in a way, this investment was successful. The only problem is it's Kickstarter. You don't own any equity in it. If you don't like that, don't kickstart companies.
Black Wolf, Bobby says, they got a return. They got a dev kit 1.
That's true.
Exactly. You get whatever prize you pledge for, or perk.
So this one comes from Robert M. I was going to ask this in chat last week, but was out late. So are you worried that the negative reaction to the Facebook acquisition of Oculus may be a self-fulfilling prophecy? I mean, when Zynga bought the developer of Draw Something, those hating the publisher for valid reasons and those joining the outcry stopped supporting the game. Seeing less further profit than forecast, Zynga closed down OMG Pop. Detractors, told you so. This view may be oversimplistic and perhaps come across as apologetic, but could a similar relatively unwarranted exodus endanger the Rift? Sorry if Bobby Blackwolf has already covered this. And that's from Robert M.
What was the question in there?
Okay, if Facebook purchasing Oculus and people saying, well, I'm not going to support this and stop adding their support to it is going to make it fail the way that when Zynga acquired Draw Something.
Sort of like is the internet damning it without necessarily giving it a chance.
Exactly.
I have a feeling, and here's something to keep in mind. Facebook wants to target non-gamers as well. And that's a huge wild card. Mm-hmm. But when you look at, what Zuckerberg said about the Oculus Rift and the big plan for it, I mean, games are in there too, don't get me wrong. But I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I get the sense that they don't need gamers to be successful.
Not really. There's plenty of other applications for the technology.
But I think also the proof is in the pudding. I would bet money. Because this is the internet and this is gaming culture, I would bet a large sum of money that at least 75%, if not more, of the people bitching about Oculus Rift and how they're never going to play one, never have.
Or never intended to anyway. Or there's also this. Let's go back to NPR's little prank. Never bothered to read anything about the acquisition either.
Or still will buy it when it comes out.
So I think the comparison to Draw Something and Zynga is interesting. But I think we have to remember that iPhone games especially tend to be very flash in the pan. And, it's popular, 1 week you're in, 1 week you're out. 1 week you're threes, then your 2048 goes out for free and kind of, bites into those sales. I mean, it's just, that's the nature of the iPhone gaming, the very volatile free and 99-cent market.
Well, I would like to read what Bobby said in chat.
Please.
Zuckerberg said Oculus will do the game stuff first, and then he'd use the Facebook power to do the non-game stuff. It basically lets Oculus concentrate on gaming. And further said most of the Reddit bitching were from people who never posted on the Oculus subreddit before. They all left, and it's back to normal now. But, I mean, it goes back to the people just wanting something to bitch about and not actually doing any research on it.
Yeah.
Basically like a conversation with my mom.
Well, that's interesting, though, that they are still going to focus on gaming first. Okay, so I'm corrected a little bit there, but I still think the point stands that they are looking at doing more than just gaming. So, and you know what? At the end of the day, if gaming doesn't end up making them money, but premium events, using the Oculus Rift to be able to attend premium events live and selling it as an entertainment device, if that works for them, then guess where they're going to end up focusing?
Well, when I was a teenager, a young teenager,
mm-hmm.
we used to pay for pay-per-views so that we could watch New Kids on the Block concerts.
I think there's a lot of people out there who bought a pay-per-view this evening.
Yes, they did.
I wonder how many people would be interested in watching an event like WrestleMania on the Oculus Rift. Food for thought.
At any rate, there is the next email actually has something to do with the wrestling. And it says, Oculus idea. Dearest Peoples, as you were talking about the possible future of Facebook-infused Oculus Rift, I had an idea as to what the future could be. It's not video games. It's a different experience entirely. As you read this, WrestleMania 30 is streaming live on the WWE network. WWE's exclusive online platform is not the only place where live events are streamed. I watched Nine Inch Nails performs live at Lollapalooza via YouTube. The WWE has streamed their pre-shows on Facebook for over a year now, and you can watch UFC PPV events live on Ustream. What is the next experience? Imagine if you could be in a crowd during a concert, and by this, I don't mean the broadcast/concert film experience you get now. I mean actually being in the crowd for a concert or sporting event. This is what I think could be done with the Facebook-infused Oculus Rift. Selling concert tickets for people to be able to see live events from the comfort of their own home. Don't tell me this wouldn't sell. If you could see something live and rare, say the Rolling Stones' last tour or the upcoming Monty Python performances, or a concert from a performer who thinks your city is too small to perform in, I'm looking at you, Kanye, you could bet people would buy tickets to see that event. Also, you could sell different tickets in different parts of the arena, enabling the corporation providing the event to make more money off the live stream than the one-size-fits-all approach they get now. That makes the experience appealing for consumers and way profitable for corporations. Yay! Stay black, Redtertainment. This message has been brought to you by Tacos.
One idea that pops in my mind, too, is that sometimes you have those, like, one-night-only shows somewhere in the world that maybe doesn't necessarily tour or anything like that. And right now, maybe get a new Blu-ray or a movie out of it. But, I mean, imagine being able to be there live for the experience. One thing that pops into my mind, remember before Michael Jackson passed away, he was prepping to do those shows at the London O2 Arena or whatever. He was going to do a bunch of shows. And then this is it, right? I'm done, no more. He's going to retire just like Cher. Right? But that was supposed to be it. I bet there would have been a lot of...
If I could turn back time.
There would have been a lot of people that would have paid to see that on
there's a problem
live or whatever
with
pay-per-view.
This. There's a big problem with this one.
What's that?
Is that to make it work to make the Oculus work in that type of area, you would have to have multiple rendering cameras open at all times that would be unobstructed by the other concert goers.
You could do it.
The issue being is that they would all have to still re-render that data into the Oculus, including the ground, including the ceiling, the various sides, and make it look seamless and also not cause someone to have a seizure.
But the technology's not there yet, but I bet it will be someday.
Well, they had, like, even back on PlayStation, I want to say it's PlayStation 2, they had something with, like, Britney Spears where it was, like, an interactive video that you could change the view on it. Like, you could actually rotate the camera around.
Was that Britney's dance beat?
No, it wasn't Britney. It was actually like a video. I think it was Britney Spears. It may have been some other group or something. But there was somebody.
Those are filmed with a special type of panoramic camera, though.
Well, I'm sure they could come out with something.
Yeah, but that's
get two panoramic cameras. No.
That's 10 years ago at this point. What's going to be 10 years from now? Anyway,
I don't care what it's called. I'm not getting one. So, and I was reading emails. So whatever. Everyone else is calling it Oculus.
Bobby's huffy because he didn't get any emails about the Oculus Rift.
And I'm not the one calling it anything. Oculus is the company. I know that. So don't mansplain shit to me.
Do we get more emails on?
Yes, we got one more.
On the Oculus Rift, hopefully?
I don't know. I really don't care if it is. Hi, guys and gal. Thank you. Thank you for being equal opportunity in your greeting. Greetings from your other Mexican listener, Dr. Noir, from Quito. Is it Quito? Is that how it's pronounced? In Ecuador. I just want to recommend a delightful platformer called Sortigo that has entertained me for about 20 hours on my Android phone, all for the price of free. And there's a link to it at the Google store. It reminds me of classic Mega Man and Metroid because of the platforming and ability acquisition with a nod to Zelda in the gameplay and currency, gems that spawn from mode plants. It is exactly the kind of game I want to see more of, even though I can't for the love of all understand how they're making money. Hope you like it. Adios, amigos.
Well, sadly, I am not an Android phone user, so I can't check out this game myself. Did they pay you to send this email? Did they? No, I'm okay with it because this guy's emailed us plenty of times before. I know he's a good guy, so I trust his recommendation. But I kind of laughed because I was like, is this a paid email? So what was the name of the game again?
Sortigo.
Sortigo. Dr. Noir approved.
Yes.
All right.
And oh, Bobby, okay, I forgive you for not trying to mansplain.
All right. Is that it for the emails?
Do you know I had to actually tell somebody what mansplaining was?
Yeah. Well, I don't think that's what Bobby was doing at all.
Well, no, I know that's not what Bobby was doing.
I think
I was poking back.
Overreacted a bit. Okay.
I wasn't over... Good Lord, can I not tell a remote teasing, giving someone shits when I get shit in return?
I suppose.
I'm allowed to give shit. I'm human, and humans shit.
Can I make another joke about Macaroni dying?
This is your house, so I can't kick you out. No, I actually had to explain to somebody what mansplaining was. It was very sad.
Yeah. Well, what if a listener doesn't know? You might as well explain it.
It's when a man's trying to explain something to a woman and talks down to her as if it's something she shouldn't know anything about.
Oh, I got you. So that would be like me going like, you see, that is an Xbox behind you, and
like,
that's what we use
see
to
this
play
bitch?
Video games.
Sit and spin.
Now, would you like me to show you how to access the Food Network on that?
Would you like for me to shove this so far up your ass that you start tasting fingernails? And I was indicating with my middle finger, thank you.
All right.
Oh, hi, Bones. You missed some stuff.
Raginator says if there's mansplaining, there's probably womansplaining too, right? Yes, I would argue yes. I'm going to tell you.
There is womansplaining. Yes, there is.
There is womansplaining. You tell me what you believe womansplaining is. I'm going to tell you what I believe it is.
That's when the guy is completely acting uninterested in what you're saying, and you're trying to explain something as thoroughly as possible, and he's completely overlooking everything that you're saying, and you come off being a nag.
Okay. I believe that womansplaining is when, you are hovering too much and you're being annoying and you're around a woman. So a woman just starts talking about her period so that you'll go away. That's womansplaining.
No, that's called defense mechanism. It's called, you know what? I'm really sick of hearing you talk about football. So how about I tell you about how once a month my vagina does this. And cramps are the worst.
Okay, no. Not on the show. Not on the show. What have they done to you? Dar Sakura, what have they done to you?
I'm just saying.
We need the subscribers.
We need more women.
When I first looked at chat, I thought it said manscaping. And I was like, well, that's a whole nother episode.
That's after the woman starts talking.
Moving on to the FUs of the week. How appropriate would be this time to get to the FUs of the week.
This is bad. Here is justice. Here is punishment. This is fucked up.
FU to the movie theater for being so fucking loud. And this is sad. I actually do like going to 3D movies, but it's like the way that the Winter Soldier was filmed for its 3D was just completely... My eyes ended up hurting, and the theater was so loud that my neck stiffened up. And I had like a killer headache, before I came in. So, it was just that. And then, of course, getting bitched at because it put me in a bad mood, and therefore I was, say, hey, my neck hurts. Would you mind rubbing my neck? I'm complaining. Fine. So... yeah.
After getting my cold and for only getting 4 hours of sleep.
You're
last
so
night.
quiet this week. I bet your listeners can probably barely hear you because it's taking all the energy out of you compared to previous weeks. I'm sorry, feel better.
Hey, I made the death jokes, so, I've got the energy for that.
I don't know. My FU of the week goes to... the fact that our washer and dryer that came with the house as is, that the landlord took great care to mention that the washer and dryer would be as is. We knew kind of in the back of our mind, oh yeah, this means they're not going to last very long. Well, very long ended up being 3 weeks and the dryer broke. So F you to the fact that I just dropped $100 plus on a new washer and
You don't
dryer.
want to know what we spend.
It's pretty disgusting, isn't it?
You don't want...
It costs a lot of money to keep your clothes smelling spring fresh.
No, but I'll tell you, I'm going to pass on a little bit of advice to everybody.
Okay.
That when you go to buy a new washer and dryer or fridge or another appliance, look at the returns. Because typically returns are for cosmetic damage.
Right.
And it's like for a fridge, if the side of it is dented, who's going to look at the fucking side of the fridge? It's usually shoved in an alcove or in between something.
Yeah.
Same, our dryer had a big dent in it. Now, our washer and dryer were $500 and $600 each. We got $300 knocked down off the price of each of them.
Nice.
So I'll say it at Best Buy.
Yeah.
But because we had damaged returns.
We went there first, and I'll say it, and nobody was around to help. So we went somewhere else where we ended up dropping a large sum of money. So
you know what? Write them. Give them feedback. Well, no, because then they'll send you coupons.
Oh, really? Well, I'm all for coupons.
Oh, we're sorry we lost your business. Thanks for letting us know.
By the way, now the FUs of the week are done, I have to read this hilarious comment from Akuma JP, although Dark Sakura's not going to like it. But I love Akuma JP's idea of woman-splaining. Did you get that? Did you hear me? Are you listening?
Well,
that's my
countered
mother.
with, I don't woman-splain, I bitch.
Bitch, please.
I give disapproving looks, including the ADS. The absolute death stare. Which, thankfully, you've never received the absolute death stare. My husband has lots, though.
All right, just a few more stories for you guys, and then we're going to open up the Skype line at 1-877-GAME-OLR. If you want to mansplain or woman-splain or they-splain, whatever you are splain to us, what you're thinking in gaming culture this week. But first, a story from Loki.
Sadly, we don't have great news, but apparently the producer or music producer of Rhythm of Heaven, he has cancer, unfortunately. It was Sunku, I guess is the guy's name, and he has been diagnosed with laryngeal cancer, laryngeal.
So, throat cancer.
Yeah. And, of course, being a singer, that's not great news either. It's like, hey, you have cancer. Oh, hey, and you can't sing anymore. So hopefully he's able to beat that, because that sucks.
Yeah, our thoughts go out, definitely. Play some Rhythm Heaven this week. Well, I mean, he's just diagnosed. He hasn't passed away or anything,
yeah,
so he's
exactly.
still fighting it. But our thoughts definitely go out to him, and we'll play some Rhythm Heaven this week. All right, going over to one story that is sad, and I know I was cracking some jokes about Mickey Rooney earlier, but look, Mickey Rooney was in his 90s. It's very tragic to report on somebody who died in their 40s, and that's unfortunately what happened this week. Masato Masuda passed away at the age of 48. Now, you may not recognize that name, but Masuda actually designed the game Pro Wrestling by himself. This ties into WrestleMania tonight, folks. Pro Wrestling by himself with another developer doing the game's graphics. This was all released for the Famicom in 1986. Which ended up being released for the NES. You remember the old school pro wrestling, like before WrestleMania or any of the licensed stuff, there was the original pro wrestling game. That was by this guy, Masato Masuda. He also created the series Fire Pro Wrestling. Very sad to hear about this. But then you hear he's 48. Now do the math, you guys. This pro wrestling, the original, came out in 1986. That means when he made this game, he was like 19 or 20. And it just makes you go, wow, what was I doing at 19 or 20?
Moving to California.
Right? Or just, like I wasn't doing this kind of stuff. But then, this guy went and made, a real classic video game, was making video games. At least he accomplished a lot. So rest in peace, Masato Masuda. I'm so sorry to hear about that. 48 is young. Very, very, very young. All right, 1-877-GAME-OLR, or a username on Skype. Orange Lounge Radio is the place to call us. If you would like to participate with our show, the phone lines are open right now. Do we have any last-minute stories while we wait? I know I've seen some tweets come in over at twitter.com/OLR, so I'll pull those up. But in the meantime, Loki, any last-minute stories?
Unfortunately, no. I don't have any last-minute stories.
It was kind of a slower news week. That's the thing about April Fool's Day, is it really cuts into like the actual news. Oh, we do have a phone call coming in though, so we will go to it. And hello, you're on Orange Lounge Radio. Who's this?
It's your local residential convention whore, Ranma.
Hey, Rama, how you doing?
I'm a little tired. My feet hurt. My back hurts. But other than that, I'm doing good.
Yeah, but let me think though. Were you here for the entire show, or were you cheating on us with some pro wrestlers?
I better things to spend my money on. If I'm cheating on OLR, I'm cheating on OLR with a bunch of hot cosplayers. I mean, come on. Give me some kind of credit. I mean, really.
All right, fair enough, Rama, fair enough. So, what's on your mind tonight, buddy?
I want to talk about where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Yes, the classic game of the week that Dark Sakura picked this week. What do you want to talk about with it?
When I was in junior high, after school, there was about 10 of us. We actually had the Acme Detective Agency Club, okay? We would sit there on our Apple IIes and just play the game. And we would just go through it, and they would put our names on the board, and like, who can do the most cases and rank up and so forth. And that was pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like we're looking at each other trying to figure out where one person is, where one person's at. And back then, there was maybe 2 copies of the game, and the disc was copied several times, with only 2 almanacs. So pretty much at the end of the school day, you had to run to the computer lab, be the first one to grab the disc and the almanac.
Rama, don't copy that floppy. No, I know. I think a lot of people did back in the day. That's why they had the copy protection.
Yeah, but that's why Elsa Manning created tape.
What?
Don't forget, for the disc copy protection, to get around it, you just cover that notch with a piece of tape.
Oh, yeah, that whole thing. I do remember that. Oh, my God, that's right. Or, yeah, you can flip the little thing on the 3.5 floppy, or, you cover with the tape. Oh, my God, that's old school.
Definitely.
Yeah, sorry, it took me a minute to, remember that, and then I just suddenly had the image of my childhood of, get the masking tape.
It's quite all right.
And then you used to have the thing that you could actually, the little hole punch, that you could actually punch the discs to put that notch in it. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. Anyway. So, any other copy floppy stories from your childhood you want to share with us?
That's the only one. And by the way, for the fact you thought these celebrities were already dead, Rob, that was bad, and you should feel bad.
It was funny as hell, and you know it.
Yeah, I know. Especially what Loki said. I was ready to walk out of my house right there and there. That was just terrible.
I'm going to put a pillow under where Loki sits just for next time he needs to drop the mic and walk away. So,
are you going to use that Mario pillow?
I might.
Rob uses that pillow for his back.
I use that pillow for my back a lot, actually.
So Rob's butt's closer to it.
That's right. Mario can smell my butt.
Are you pretty much telling Mario to kiss your ass?
I guess so. Because I'm a Luigi fan, Rama. I'm a Luigi fan. And you know my favorite...
Number 1 superstar.
My favorite is Black Luigi.
By the way, Ranchan.
Yes.
You know I'm going to be back in the cosplay circuit come July.
Are you doing Ukyo?
No.
Who?
You're going to be so sad. So very, very sad.
Sailor Venus?
No. I'm doing 2 Homestuck cosplays.
I've learned to love and tolerate the Homestuck fandom.
Woo!
Like Twilight Sparkle said in My Little Pony, I will learn to love and tolerate.
Respect and understanding. The gaming community needs more of it.
I have given My Little Pony a chance. And I found some of it amusing.
That's good.
Even though Applejack's accent is horrible. But I have developed a love of Rainbow Dash.
Because 20% cooler.
Yes.
And don't forget they had the figures at McDonald's this week, so you know what
I'm not that into it. No, thank you.
All right. Well, Rama, I'm going to let you go so we can get some more calls. But listen to Anime Jam Session or you suck, right?
Yep, and we'll be talking about Castle Point this week, a convention we hit up today. And after that, we're getting ready for PAX East.
Oh, boy. Big weekend coming up.
You're telling me. I'm just glad I got the time off for it.
All right. Well, good luck. Have fun at PAX East.
Will do. Thank you.
Bye, my friend.
Bye.
1-877-GAME-OLR or a username on Skype, Orange Lounge Radio, if you would like to give the show a call. The phone lines are once again open. Again, that's 1-877-GAME-OLR or a username on Skype, Orange Lounge Radio. I'm trying to go to the Twitters to see what's going on here on Twitter. Tiger Claw sending us a tweet. The Wreck-It Ralph sequel is officially in the works, according to the composer. I think we knew that this was something that was going to be happening, but we haven't had any like official confirmation one way or the other. But Wreck-It Ralph, of course, the Disney movie from last year that was great with all its throwbacks to classic gaming. Very happy to hear about the sequel. I just hope it's not direct to video. That would be very sad. But yeah, I'm excited to hear about a Wreck-It Ralph. I hope we get maybe a new Wreck-It Ralph game that isn't like exclusive to the Nintendo platforms, because I'd like to see it out there in more places. Anyway, hi, you're on Orange Lounge Radio. Who's this?
It's Shane.
Hey, Shane, how you doing?
I'm good.
Hi, Shane.
Wow, you're making the
Hello.
rounds on every podcast that I co-host this week. You are
Right?
Hornhouse.
I have no life.
You even guested on Reading is Fundamental, and now you're here. What's up?
I just want to do my, due diligence as a DJ Maxx fan and put out the PSA that on the iOS platform, we now have the Technica game, finally, in America. And it's expensive, so don't buy it.
Wait a minute. So you're doing your due diligence to tell us that it's out there, but then you're saying don't buy it.
Yes.
Why
because you get the base game for free, and it comes with like 6 songs, I think, 7 maybe. And a couple of them are pretty decent songs. And then you have to buy the rest of them. You can earn the credit stuff to buy the songs by playing the games, but you don't really earn a whole lot, and each song is like 20 of these credits. So they want you to pay real money. If you want every single song that they have there, and they're sold in packs, you can also buy them individually, but that's not as good. You have to pay $96 for a phone game.
But does it have Flea?
It does not.
Fuck it then. What's the
It
best
has
song?
it has one of the exclusives from the what's it called? The Vita version. It has a couple of those. It has some of the exclusives from the what's it called? DJ Max Ray on the iPhone. And it's not bad, but they are really asking for a lot of money for songs that don't translate as well to the iPhone and probably iPad as they do like in the arcade.
But there'll be some people that buy it, right, Shane?
Yep, there will be. Not me though. I did not buy any.
Wow.
Because I don't have the money for it, or else I probably would.
Oh.
But yeah. Everybody has to know so they can download it and get the free version, and then eventually if you are drunk or just dumb, you buy the other songs.
Well, if you have some more disposable income out there and you want to drop the money on this and some of the songs, let us know how it is.
There are some good songs. I mean, like, because I earned enough to buy one of my own songs without paying money, and I don't know. It has a 2-line mode and a 3-line mode, and it's okay. I bet this is much better on an iPad than a little dinky iPhone. But if you need a DJ Max fix, go play portable on PSP, and not this.
All right. Any other game reviews you want to share with us tonight?
I have already professed my love for Infamous because it's amazing.
Did you hear that, Loki? Loki said he wasn't sure on Infamous Second Son.
No, I
earlier in
said
the
that
show.
was the only one that looked interesting to me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It is really interesting. It's got a decent story, and I don't think the other ones supposedly had that great of stories.
It did
I'm
not.
really got invested into this one. And I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy XIV because of Leviathan and his mid-90s alternative rock song. It's the best.
That
I may
was
have been
fun
up
doing
till
that stream last
5
night.
playing that fight over and over.
Yeah.
Jamie, if you get that far, don't play it. You might get motion sick. It does a lot of bobbing up and down.
Yeah,
Well, I'll probably wait for you guys to do it anyway.
you fight Leviathan on a barge, and during the fight, Leviathan will fly up in the air and land on the barge, which causes the barge to tilt, and you all fly down the barge, whatever way.
Which is really fun.
Yeah, actually, it's a fucking rad mechanic. But
Well, I'll just wait till I have you guys to do it with me.
there you go.
You can pretty much sleep through it once you get there. It's really not hard
Yeah,
whatsoever.
if you can get past Titan hard mode, then shit, anything's easy
Well,
after that.
I
No, if you
barely
can
got.
get
The only
past
reason I got
level
past
20.
Titan at all was because of you guys while I slept in the fire.
That was just regular mode. Wait until you see hard mode. It'll make you cry.
Wait till you see extreme
I was.
mode.
You don't know. You have no idea how angry I was that
Oh,
night.
no, I have an idea.
I actually was angry enough that I was in tears, and I got up and left my computer.
oh, my gosh.
I was that angry.
Oh, my gosh.
When I just was. Remember when I said "fuck it, just finish it"?
Yeah.
After that, I got up and left.
No video game's worth getting that.
And came
upset
back.
over.
I was
Mass
already
Effect
in a really
is.
bad
I
mood.
did that.
I was already in a really bad mood that night. But just having all that happen after I had put off doing the fight for 3 games until there were people to do it with me.
Yeah.
I was just so frustrated.
But it's. I'm gonna warn you. It gets worse. Like the hard mode is extremely unforgiving.
I would love to actually try it again.
Yeah.
If I can.
Well, you always could.
But I was so mad.
Yeah. Sure. All right. Well, Shane, I'm gonna let you go to see if we get any other callers. But hey, thanks for the call.
That's fine. I'm going to go play more Leviathan.
All right, Leviathan.
That's not even the good part.
That's what the music
at
sounds like to me. All right. Bye.
All right, bye.
1-877-GAME-OLR, our username on Skype, Orange Lounge Radio, if you'd like to give the show a call. See, I saw at least one other tweet here I want to get to before we close things up, but I'm not going to leave the phones open very long, so if you want to get in now. I did see a tweet from SSJ100 Matt. Video games doing good in the world. Computer teaches another computer how to play Ms. Pac-Man. What? All right, so he's linking me to an article over on Polygon that I'm loading right now. Again, this is a tweet from SSJ100 Matt. Sometimes you guys want to bring stories that might have slipped off of our radar. You want to bring that to our attention. Let's see. Washington State University researchers programmed a computer to teach another how to play Ms. Pac-Man. Let's see. Right now, robots are, quote, very dumb, saying Matthew E. Taylor at WSU, who's a professor of artificial intelligence. And so as robots become more common, it will be easier if they're capable of learning how to perform tasks from other robots. We don't want this information to be lost. Once your home robot knows how you like your bath, how you like your house cleaned, you don't want to lose that information. So, that's interesting. And there's a whole little YouTube that goes with it. I'm not going to play it right now, but that's really neat. So they use Ms. Pac-Man as a way. Now can you teach me how to play? Because I get killed in that game really easy. So, All right. Akuma JP in our chat room at live.vognetwork.com talking about Final Fantasy XIV, saying the reason I left Final Fantasy XIV is because I got kicked from the server while in a fight with Odin. That Odin fight will kill servers. Like, there's so many people that show up for those fights, it kind of can't handle it, which is not okay. They need to fix that somehow. So, so no MMO is perfect, and that's where Square Enix is struggling, is with some of those server issues, especially when they encourage every single player on the damn server to show up in one zone all at the same time. So I will put out one more call for phone calls at 1-877-GAME-OLR, or username on Skype, Orange Lounge Radio. I'm trying to look back. Sometimes I miss tweets that were sent early in the week if I don't scroll back. So I'm going to do that right now. But unfortunately, there's no last-minute stories to help give me time here.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Stuff
No, I
is...
understand. It was a slow week. Let's see. Codeman had sent us that same story about the 5-year-old and the security flaw with Xbox One. But, that story is like making the rounds. It's everywhere, because I'm sure the Associated Press picked it up, and it's a hilarious story to put on the front of, your local newspaper and things like that. 5-year-old that hacks Xbox. Pete Caruno had sent some tweets at the beginning of the week when he was listening to the show saying, I believe it's illegal to rent games in Japan, hence why there's a thriving secondhand market to replace it. Renting CDs is legal. We were talking about that a little bit on the show last week. I think we were talking about Redbox and all that stuff. And Pete Caruno said, I successfully used the money in my Xbox account to buy DJ Hero DLC yesterday, even managing to partly pay with points and credit card. Well, you're doing better than
Now,
Loki
did you do that, though, through the website? Or
He didn't say. It was a tweet.
You can do that through the store just fine. Through the website, no. I do need to figure out what I'm going to spend the rest of that on. I was hoping the DLC for Grand Theft Auto 5 would come out, but...
Nope. Not yet. All right. Well, that's it. I guess we're going to close up the Skype line. No other calls are coming in. So I guess there's too many people. And Akuma JP, by the way, is verifying, yes, it's illegal to rent games. They tried to do that here. They when that first happened, Nintendo was not a fan of that.
But no, this is Murica.
So anyway, if you want to participate with the show, if you were too busy with WrestleMania or Game of Thrones or what else was tonight? Something else tonight. Too busy.
Simpsons with a Minecraft intro.
Oh, who cares? If you were too busy with any of that stuff, you can always email us, participate at orangeloungeradio.com, or you can send us a tweet, twitter.com/OLR. But with that, we're going to wrap up the show here tonight. I want to thank you guys for listening and tuning into the show. Thank you, as always, for your support. If you liked what you heard here at Orange Lounge Radio, don't forget to tell a friend or two about the show. You know, we don't ask for your money or anything like that. Although I will say, just a heads up, you guys, we are going to be looking at ways here in the coming weeks and months and so forth that, you know, and these are things you guys have been asking for. Like, can I get a shirt? Can I get Orange Lounge Radio merchandise? Will you sign something and send it to us? We are looking at ways to do that, but again, totally optional stuff that will be out there. If you want to get it and support the show, that's fucking awesome and you rule for it. But you know, we're not going to be we're not going to record our show for a month if you don't do it.
I'm still planning on doing Vogue the book, which I do
interesting.
need to speak with some of our people.
That'd be very
hilarious.
interesting
Is to kickstart the most expensive episode of Orange Lounge Radio ever.
And
One
then-
episode.
Don't give
and
me
then
ideas.
we donate the money to charity.
Don't
Namely,
give me
that
ideas.
Jamie needs art supplies and candy.
Actually, to donate to charity is against the rules, so you can't do that.
Well,
Can you do it on Indiegogo or something like that?
Yeah, there's no rules on Indiegogo.
at any rate, Bobby also makes a point that Cosmos was on.
Oh.
And Cosmos is fucking amazing.
Oh, there you go. All right. Well, that's going to do it. Thank you guys so much for listening to the show.
OLR the flamethrower.
Thank you guys so much for listening to the show. Let's go around and get everybody's final thought tonight. I'll start. My final thought is, you know, Loki, when you bring Carl's Jr. to the studio, you make me crave Crisp cut fries. You're a jerk.
And I didn't even get the crisp cut fries.
Ah,
I ate
damn
their
you.
natural cut fries.
You know what, Rob?
It's all right.
We could get Pinkberry.
I got to go get Alan from work.
I was gonna have pinkberry today, but my son had to fucking have an accident after he was sitting there bouncing up down like, you have to go to the bathroom. Let's go to the bathroom. No, I don't have to go to the bathroom. 2 seconds later, I have to go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom. Get him in the. Okay, let's go to Pinkberry. Get him in the car. Hey, wait a second. Your pants are wet. Thanks.
Womp womp. Dark Soccer, your final thought tonight.
I'm glad I only have to deal with my cat.
And last but not least, Loki, your final thought tonight.
Hoping to get some more programming done this week, but my brain's been mush the last few days. That's what I get for staying up.
Well, feel better, damn it.
Yeah.
Drink whiskey.
It's actually,
Then you won't care.
I can only code with Red Bull. I have to drink lots of Red Bull, and then that it actually works out. But the problem is, though, I'm getting to the point, though, where it's like, okay, what do I work on next? What part do I work on next? What part do I work on next? And it's just deciding what the best thing to work on. I don't know. I'm trying to set myself goals and stuff, but it's just a lot of stuff that I need to work on. I got to do everything.
All right. That's it. Thank you guys so much for downloading the show and checking us out. We appreciate it. Have a wonderful week. Be safe. Don't be jerks to each other online. Keep gaming positive. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week here.
You've been listening to Orange Lounge Radio. Orange Lounge Radio is a production of OLR Studios. To join us for a live show, tune into VogNetwork.com Sunday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. The views and opinions expressed in this program do not necessarily reflect those of the staff of Orange Lounge Radio or Vog Network, but you know they were all still true. See you next week.